It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Thursday, May 29th. I'm Gabe. I'm your host. This is Double Impact. Tonight is going to be a great one. We will see how late Jericho will be tonight. Of course, it's Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. If there must be wars, let it be Star Wars. Yeah, we're going to do A New Hope. That is what started it all for me. That is what ignited my imagination. How's everyone doing, guys? Hit the like, hit the share. I'm in such a good mood. I had such a... Guys, there's what you see, and then there's what's behind the scenes going on. And two of my favorite dudes, two of my conspirators, two of my collaborators. We're on Gutfeld tonight. If you're on the West Coast, I think you can still see Gutfeld live right now. And Michael Coulter's watching me on his 32-inch TCL Roku TV. The TCL Roku TV from Costco, right? I had a Roku. It was pretty good TV, but the black point was weird. Like the blacks wouldn't get black enough, and then there was something wrong with the color, and I tried every adjustment, and my family got me a new TV for Father's Day last year or Christmas, something for me. They got me an awesome giant TV, a Samsung. But two of my favorite people are on Gutfeld tonight. The great Dean CAIN from this book right here, Dean CAIN, All-American Lawman, and Tyrus, of course, is always on Gutfeld. And Dean was on there. He's promoting his new movie, Little Angels. Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to see that. But had a conversation with Dean about stuff and Tyrus stuff and all that. And God, you guys, I feel so blessed. I feel so happy. I really do. My life has changed dramatically in the last few years. I've done some personal growth stuff, and none of that feel-good bullshit from Oprah, any of those weird leftist feminist stuff. But really learning finally in my life how to correctly set boundaries and all that. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm a 46-year-old grandfather. I'm still learning a lot about my mental health, my well-being and all that. But there's no way around things. Sometimes it's just through. You put your head down, you go right through it. So Gabe, you're going to have to use his nerd voice for the whole show. I'm not going to use any nerd voice for Star Wars. I told my wife the entire plot of the 1977 Star Wars, which we'll review tonight, in the car in like 10 minutes. Because I was just telling her that we were doing it for the show and stuff. And I said, you know it, right? You've seen it a bunch. She's like, I think I've seen it once or twice. I've seen the original Star Wars probably 100 times. I watched it nonstop as a kid. It was my favorite thing from age first memories, 3 years old until I was about 12. Then Ninja Turtles took over like in 1990 for me or whatever. And I was 12. I saw the Ninja Turtle Saturday morning cartoon. became immediately obsessed with Ninja Turtles for about 2-3 years. And then I really discovered girls. And then that was a whole new fascination. So that was so we went from Star Wars to Ninja Turtles to those wiggly, jiggly, giggly things known as girls and women. Send me the links. I'll join the show tonight if you want. Oh, that might be fun. That might be fun. Let's wait for headache. Let me see the. I guess I can do the invite. Copy the invite. I guess I could do that, but we'll wait. We'll hold off for Jericho. For Erico to show up. Gabe, the blacks wouldn't get black. I was talking about the black point on my LCD TV. How dare you? How dare you? And just a scant 2-3 months after Black History Month, you make a comment like that? Disgusting, dude. Quick question, Gabe. Doing a Tom Cruise cartoon for tomorrow featuring the Mission Impossible stunts. Got him hanging on the Burj Khalifa, jumping off a motorbike, halo jumping, wing walking, 6-minute underwater. What is the question? What's the question? That sounds cool. I think Tom Cruise and Jackie Chan stunts. You could go back to Buster Keaton too, way back like 100 years ago. They are the most thrilling stuntmen in cinema. I mean, there's so many hundreds and hundreds of amazing stuntmen, right? But for leading men that do like the most insane stunts, it's got Jackie Chan and Tom Cruise to me. Just insane stuff. Let's see. Oh, my question is, what else? I don't know. I think that's good. I think if you do too many, you kind of deaden the effect. Pick the very best ones and do the best on those instead of doing too many, you know. My wife is from Africa, so I'm allowed to. Do you guys celebrate Kwanzaa because your wife is from Africa? That's what I want to know. Now, is she black, though? Because I'm African American, quite literally. My dad is from Africa. That's where he was born. That's where he came from. So I'm a first-generation African American son of an immigrant. There's all those white Dutch German people down in South Africa having a little bit of trouble down there politically. It's not all peachy keen down there. It's kind of rough. So there's all kinds of African Americans, including myself. That's right. Wait a minute. So in February it's Black History Month, though. It's not African American History Month. She's from Sierra Leone. So I'm guessing she may be a black lady. A lot of black people in Sierra Leone last time I checked. And I check often. I have it in my Google Alerts. I wrote in the Google Alerts, hey, Sierra Leone, what is the percentage of black people in Sierra? Hey, Google, what percentage is Sierra Leone of black people? I have an alert that keeps me updated on pertinent information like that. Guys, I'm riding high. I'm just feeling great. I'm really looking at where everything is with Big Man Comics. I'm so thrilled. I have hold on. I have Sci-Fi Epic period. It's done. It's in the can, and it's at the printer. Just printing some review copies, but they're real copies. They're the exact same kind of copies you guys would get. But I wanted to get them done. Sassy Suba, hola Gabriel, chatting moms. Oh, haven't seen you in a while. And it was Cassie, right? Now you're Sassy Cassie. Yeah, so it's good to see. It's been a while. Jericho will be in sooner or later. He's running late. The title is The Last Movie Star, like the last summer. Yeah, I had a YouTube video I did the other day where I was reading that beautiful thing Tom Cruise put out to everyone at Paramount Pictures, and then all the cast and crew, and all the directors, and all the actors. And then he said, most of all the fans we love to entertain and serve. Thank you all for this. Near 30 years of doing Mission Impossible. And I called my little video The Last Movie Star. And I just made the parallel that, yes, as a creator and owner of a company myself, Big Man Comics, that's how I want to approach it. That's how I do approach it. I do understand that every last dime, every super, every YouTube membership, every comic book, every T-shirt, that's real money that you guys earned, blood, sweat, and tears at your jobs. That some of you hate your jobs. Some of you are doing what you have to do, live check to check. And you deem me worthy to send a few shekels my way. And it is not lost on me, and I will never lie to you, let you down, mistreat you, anything like that. You know, we have companies. When I was 21, I got a job at Home Depot, and it was a really good company. This is like year 2000. It had been voted like America's most admired company many years in a row, in the 90s into the early 2000s. It was still owned privately by that Bernie Marcus and I forget the name. It's the other guy that owns the Atlanta Falcons. And they had all this training when I onboarded at Home Depot. It was just a kid in college, just a young guy, and all they talked to us about was customer service. Like when we went to the training for like 2 days when we were onboarding, it was all about customer service. And it was like, companies are built one customer at a time, and they will be destroyed one customer at a time. And I never forgot that. So anyone that's ever interacted with me, given me a penny, even didn't buy anything, but just asked me about it and this and that, like, no, that's like, thank you. And it's sincere, because I could say anything I want, but through my actions, I have to. So we haven't done Heat. We should, yes. Michael Mann's masterpiece with the late, great Val Kilmer. Al Pacino! And Trump derangement sufferer Robert De Niro. I don't do the voice, but I do the face pretty good, But yeah, that's a great one. Heat. We should do that. The gun battle of that thing, right? Looking forward to you and Jericho's take on Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars is the touchstone for me. Star Wars is what kicked it all off. Star Wars is the original thing I would draw when I was a little boy in the back of my grandparents' Mexican restaurant. My parents were working. My brother was in kindergarten. I didn't have anywhere to be. My grandparents were in the back of the factory making tortillas in this big factory, industrial ovens and mixers and all that. And then in the front of the house, there was a kitchen in the middle. So there's a factory in the back by the alley and all that. And there's a kitchen in the middle. And then there was a restaurant out front. And I was just a precocious little boy. I'd hang around this factory. I'd go play in the parking lot behind the restaurant. I would go play around the machines. It was in the 80s, kind of dangerous, and nobody said anything. I'd hang out in the kitchen and just eat food. I remember I invented snacks, but I there was a conveyor belt, right? A conveyor oven, back and forth. The tortillas go through the oven. They get all toasty. These are flour tortillas and corn. I would only do this with flour. You couldn't do it with corn. I think it'd be gross. I'd grab a hot flour tortilla right out of the fire, take it into the front of the restaurant where the candy was by the cash register, open a Snickers bar, and stick the Snickers bar in the tortilla and roll it up into a chocolate burrito. Dude, you want to talk about it. Maybe that's why I grew so tall and strong. The diet of chocolate burritos. Another thing I would do, and I was only 4 years old, so you can't get mad at this, because my grandparents didn't know. They wouldn't have allowed this if they didn't. The taco meat? It's that ground beef with the orange spices and all that. It's got all that orange grease. That orange grease is life to me. That's delicious. Just the grease itself. I would take a tortilla right off the hot conveyor belt, roll it up, and I'd go into the kitchen by myself and dunk it into that orange grease and bite it. But I would double dip. I'd keep going back into the taco meat and taking bites. Sorry to the customers. None of you got sick. I was a cute little kid. So, I wouldn't be grossed out if I knew a little kid did that. Although little kids' hands, you ever have a little kid offer you candy or a potato chip or something, and you like, the hands are clammy, they got like the hair on it, and dirt, and what could be goop from candy. And, little kids have a habit of going knuckle deep in their nose. So maybe my little kid hands weren't as pure as I'm saying. But I would double dip into the top of it. I would do that. I was a precocious little boy, in case you haven't noticed. I do like to talk, and I'm not shy at all. I would go into the dining room of the restaurant, and if I saw like a husband and wife or just someone sitting there eating their chips and salsa before the food was coming, I'd sit at their table and just start eating the chips with them. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Gabe. What's your name?" And I'm like, "This is my grandparents' restaurant." Just like being a little mascot. I had no idea it was wrong. So let's see, Brandon. Let's go double impact. Yeah, thank you, Brandon. It's been a while since I've seen anybody. I hope everything's going good. Hope the family's good. I know you have some challenges there that you've talked about publicly. Hope everyone is good. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Midnight Lover himself. My friend and yours, the great Erico Green.
What's up? Hold on. There we go. Brother? Hold on. Now you sound fucking weird. Hold on a second.
Why? Because I call you Erico?
There we go. Say something. No?
Yeah, it's a double Big Man Comics night on Greg Gutco's show right now. Because Dean Cain is a guest, and of course Tyrus is always there. So two of my collaborators are right there right now on the show. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Is your chair squeaky tonight, or do you eat too many beans, Gabe? I don't sit in the chair. I stand. I stand when I do this. But I am big. So if you're hearing things, I did have beans at lunch, but that's not what's going on. I do have manners. I do. I'm not one of those. I have a buddy. I will not name him. We'll just be in a store, grocery store, and he'll just lift a leg and rip in front of people. And that is I was not raised that way. Like, yeah, everyone, whatever. Everyone gets gas, whatever. Like, come on. You don't do. And then he laughs. He's a buddy of mine. He thinks it's hilarious. I don't know. Like, in public, like, what are you doing? I it's not the worst thing in the world. But not me. I'm not that guy.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But yeah, I can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it sounds echoey. What do I sound like?
Can you hear me? Hear me? Hear me? Hear me?
Like, what the fuck? Anyway,
Let me check.
hopefully it'll
Let me
get
check
better.
some of my sound stuff. Let me go into my mic and mess with it. Hold on. Audio. Oh, fucking shit. Okay. You know what it was? Okay. Do I sound different now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. My iPhone is connected to my computer, and somehow that was the microphone. So it was using my iPhone's mic instead of the big mic right here. I switched it.
Stupid computer.
Yeah. Why did you do that thing without asking me? Yeah. Okay. So there we go. There we go. See, we got to the bottom of that. Gas is natural after all. Thank you, Kathy Suba, for letting us all know.
Yeah, but farting like that in public, that shit's disgusting. That
Dude,
pisses me off.
My son found an Instagram account. He's the OG crop duster. I really don't like talking. I don't like this kind of material on my show, but I'm going to say it since we're here now. He was an Instagram guy or a TikToker. My son showed me, and he couldn't believe it was real. And all the guy does is go in public, like department stores, whatever, walk next to people and just rip horrible ones and then like laugh at them. And he has like his own stickers. He calls himself the OG crop duster. And I'm just like, what is your problem? Like, what is going on? It doesn't even seem real that someone would do that.
No, you don't do that. To me, that's a type of assault. You know, you're forcing me to smell your disgusting ass.
Right. It's horrible. It's horrible.
If I were King Jericho, there'd be a punishment for that.
Now, who's worse? Who's worse? The guy that lifts the leg at the grocery store and laughs about it, or the guy wearing the Cookie Monster pajama pants in public? I saw that the other day.
They're both equal to me. They would both would get equal punishment. They're both equal infractions.
They're both going to the gulag?
Yeah. Sorry. Get in the showers. It'll all be over soon. Yeah, for sure. It's just, you don't do that.
Grant Rasha says, when Disney went woke, I gave my brother all of my original Star Wars figures, playsets, vehicles, Millennium Falcon. So, oh my gosh, I still have it all. It is in boxes, hidden away in the attic. 30, 40 years old, these toys, and there it will stay. And my kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, they can have it and take it on the Antiques Roadshow and sell it one day, whatever.
Get paid. They're like, yeah, our dad left this to us. I don't even know if they're worth anything. And they'd be like, well, actually, this is worth $75,000.
Right. And we got it all. Yeah. I think my mom was a big Star Wars fan because she would buy us so much Star Wars stuff. As I got older, I thought maybe you like this too. We got the spaceships, the big spaceships. We got the Rancor. That's the giant lizard monster that tries to eat Luke in the third movie. Jabba the Hutt, the Wampa, the snow gorilla Wampa thing. Like, we got everything, man. And all the action figures, all the guys. So let's see. Apparently Lego is launching a Death Star set that will cost $1,000.
Damn.
This is also known as the panty dropper, this thing. That's how you go if you're out and about and you see like a beautiful lady. Guys, I don't know if you know, but Jericho and I, we're married now. Mm-hmm. But in our day, lady killers. And it's like riding a bike. I didn't forget how to talk to the ladies.
No.
And this would be my go-to move. It's like, hey, you want to come over and see my $1,000 Death Star Lego set? Where'd you go? Where are you going?
Hey.
She maces you with bear spray.
Like, damn, you didn't even use bear spray, bitch. Damn.
None the Miser says it goes pajama pants man, German mustache man, crop duster, and that dude. Okay, everyone knows I went to Mexico 2-3 weeks ago. Took my family there. We went to the pyramids. We ate so good. We went to the anthropology museum. It's all that Mayan stuff that's thousands of years old. Amazing trip. If you can afford it, get your ass to Mexico City. It's safe if you stay in the bougie neighborhoods near the park, near the Central Park. There's really rich neighborhoods there. If you stay there, it'll be awesome. When I was at the airport in Tijuana, so what you do if you live in San Diego like me, you do not fly out of San Diego International to go to Mexico City. You drive 10 more miles, you cross the border into Mexico and go to the Tijuana International Airport, and then fly from Tijuana to Mexico City because it's just 10 more miles. You save so much money on the plane ticket. And it's a real airplane. It's a Boeing 737. It's all modern and safe. It's not some, thing being held up by balloons with bird. It's the same thing we have here, same kind of airplane. And but when I was at the airport that morning to go to Mexico City, there was a Mexican guy. 50, 60 years old, straight up had the Hitler mustache. Did he not
Yeah.
have like a sort of narrow mustache? It was the square right under his nose. I
Yeah.
looked right at him and I'm like, wow. I've never seen one of those in real life. I've only ever seen Michael Jordan in the commercials for Fruit of the Loom.
Dude.
Have you ever seen anyone with the Hitler mustache?
Dude. I don't think so, but that mustache it does predate Hitler. I know he
Oh,
made it
sure. I'm
famous,
sure
so to
men have had
speak.
that mustache for thousands of years.
Charlie
off and on.
Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin had that mustache. You know,
Yeah.
15 years or so before
Yeah.
Hitler even got famous. So yeah, but he
Right.
definitely
He
definitely
ruined a
co-opted
mustache.
it. He
Can you
did.
imagine
Until
one man? How long will that mustache be ruined? Because eventually hating him will kind of be like hating Julius Caesar or something. Hundreds and hundreds of years from now, it'll just be a historical story to people. There won't be context anymore. Because now today we still have people alive that survived and fought in the war.
Yeah.
There are not many, but so of course it'd be very insensitive. But 500 years from now, to those people, they won't have the context we have. Will people be able to grow the mustache in 200 or 300 years? You think? Because you can't
for
do
sure.
it. Right.
If what you say is true, that there won't be any more context, there won't be that connection to him, then yeah, for sure. People had the Caesar haircut, and he did some piece of shit things. But Jordan's already done it. People are afraid now to go back to that mustache watering hole, but Jordan already did it. Not only did Jordan rock a Hitler mustache in his personal life, he went on a national Hanes commercial campaign. Around the world, probably.
Yeah, he's selling men's cotton T-shirts with no tag in the neck.
Mm-hmm. That was revolutionary, dude. And the straight up Hitler mustache. That shit was crazy.
And this guy I saw in Mexico, not only did he have the Hitler mustache, he had a great mustache. Like you could tell if he grew the rest, it was thick. It was like a push broom, this mustache.
He was just playing around. He was playing with different looks.
Yeah, it was beefy, this thing.
It's like somebody with...
Go ahead.
It's like somebody with a luscious head of hair. They can play with different styles, just because they can. Why not?
Right. I think all men do this when you shave, though. You have a beard. Me and you, we usually have a beard. But you shave your face. I shave my beard off like once a year. I just get like bored, and I'm trimming it in the mirror, and I'm like, you know what? I should shave it off. And then I'll shave it. But as you shave it off, you go through different styles. You have the Elvis mutton chops. Then you have like the bad boy handlebar. And you do some different stuff, and then you finally shave it all off. Do you do that? I've done that multiple times.
I've done that. Like if I wanted to grow, like, man, what does this look like? Because I know I'm going to cut it off anyway.
Right.
So I might as well just, see.
I don't think I've ever seen you without a beard.
No, you haven't. I've had a goatee a few times, but it's like a team who has a shitty season and your last few games mean nothing. So you might as well put out on the field who you have, like on your second string and shit, just to see what you got. Right. So yeah, you play around with stuff, but you're taking.
But you don't do the little Hitler mustache. You don't need to.
I might. Jordan told me Jordan made it okay.
Privacy of your own bathroom, you gave yourself the little square.
Jordan made it okay. I might go public with it.
Now look, you have to see this. This is let me take care of this super chat. Think about what you think about. I've got exciting news. My wife and I are expecting our second child.
Hey,
thanks so much for all your great advice over the years. Yeah, I really had to give you a lot of advice on how to get her pregnant, didn't I?
Yeah, we didn't have to walk you through that one.
Yeah, I didn't have to hold your hand on that one. You got that one all figured out.
Our advice more kicked in after the baby got here.
Right.
I think you know how to get him here.
But
that's great, man. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, here we go. Hold on, let me
And if you definitely dance hall.
There you go for the baby. And let's see. And of course, whenever you send a super chat, and guys, don't be shy. Go ahead and send a super chat if you want, because when you do, and only when you do, you get the booty.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
The Belgian buns. There he is.
Take that.
Oh, my wife says, congrats. Now, my wife and I have 2 adult children. Now, chat, should I get her? She's 48. Should I get her knocked up again? She's Mexican, though, so it's going to be easy to get her pregnant. Like, I just raise an eyebrow, perhaps, Just give her a certain look. Should I, after having big baby, my granddaughter living with me and all that, I love it. And I remember what it's like having little kids. Like, wow, I want more of these kids. More little kids. It's the best time. When they're 2, 3, 4, it's the best. It's the best time.
I mean, you could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it. It'll probably take probably have to have a sit down first, maybe to talk a few things out, work out a few kinks.
Yeah. Secretary, not sure. Dang, all I got was advice on a sandwich. Did you go to Byers Sandwich Deli down in Chula Vista? You should go. It's delish. Also, Secretary, not sure. I went to a new pizza place tonight. It was Best Pizza and Brew. There's like 8 of them from Murrieta and then a bunch in San Diego. I hadn't tried it before, really. I got a slice, but I didn't get a whole fresh pie. Delish. Highly recommended. Best pizza in San Diego is Bronx Pizza. Bronx Pizza on Washington Street. That's the best one.
Hey.
But this was very good too. So
it's like the Bronx over here.
Hey, I'm making pizzas over here. Yeah, congratulations on getting laid. Think about what you're doing. Congrats, dude. Oh,
and
Secretary, I'm sure you tried it. It was a bomb sandwich. Oh, good. I'm so glad. So glad. So glad.
It's awesome. Kids, sandwiches. What else do you need?
New babies, sandwiches, Star Wars movies, Hitler mustaches in the Tijuana airport. It's awesome.
I'm good. I'm good.
That's a show. All right, guys. Good show.
Yeah, that's just the first few minutes, guys.
I couldn't believe it. And I had a really weird reaction myself to the Hitler mustache that I don't understand. And maybe you could play a little Sigmund Freud and tell me what was going on with me psychologically, Jericho. I took a picture of the Hitler mustache guy because I wanted to show my family. I just couldn't believe it. And then I felt guilty, like I was making fun of him and would I want someone to take a picture of me and then show their family, look at this asshole. So I didn't tell anyone and I just privately deleted it. I was like, it felt weird. Why was I overcome by guilt?
I don't know.
It was bizarre.
Who cares? This guy's never going to find out.
Right. I just felt so guilty.
He said, what are the chances of him stumbling across? Like, how do you even know? Did he bug your house when you show your family?
It's
Can
not
he
about
feel it?
It's not about
like
him knowing it. It just felt like Mean Girls. It just felt, look at this guy.
But only if he knew about it. Only if he were there. If you guys are, I don't know how many miles you are away from that airport. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it wasn't so much to make fun of him. It was just shocking to me. It was just shocking to me that he would go out of the house like that.
He brought it upon himself. He has to know what that mustache looks like, So I think he's prepared for that.
What if he was the one person who had no idea about World War II? He just never heard of it, dropped out of school in the 2nd grade, never saw Saving Private Ryan. He has no idea that mustache is a thing.
Maybe he just came out of a coma. He has no idea.
He went into a coma in July of 1939 before everything kicked off. And he just woke up.
It's not his fault, man. He just liked it. He liked it. It was the style he had when he went out.
He loved Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, and now that he's back, he's like, hey, guys, why is everybody looking at me funny? Why are the nurses refusing to empty my bedpan? This is weird. Poor guy. I support him. If I saw him, I'd shake his hand, man. Good for you. Maybe he's a big Michael Jordan fan. You never know.
Well, let me show you something. Let me show you something. I'll zoom in on myself. I look right there. I don't shave that. I cannot go to Hitler. Right in the center of my mustache, I'm missing about 20 hairs right there. You see that? And I don't know what the deal is. I know it's just genetics or whatever, but I don't have the very center of my mustache.
Well, I think if you cut it small enough, you wouldn't even notice that.
Because then I'd have 2 little lines.
No, but as long as you don't go around like with your lip like that, it looks like pretty connected.
Oh, well, let me see. I won't make a face. Hold on.
Yeah, you could do it. Try it.
That's a shadow, dude. That's not hair.
No, you could do it.
There's no hair right there.
At a glance. Well, you're not going to walk around doing an old man impression all day.
Yeah, walk around like this.
So,
hey, kids, you like my mustache?
I think you should try it. That's what I think.
I'm not doing it.
I think you should say nay to the doubters.
No, I'm not a white guy, but I'm not a black guy, so I'm in the middle, like I'm a brown guy. So, because Michael Jordan got away with it, and he's a black guy. Does it have to do with him being black, or does it have to do with him being MJ?
He couldn't do it as a white dude, that's for sure.
So Larry Bird couldn't have done that.
No way. He would use up all his Larry Bird credit if he did that. Fuck, that'd be a bold move. I'd still buy whatever he's selling, but that's a bold move, Larry, Mr. Bird.
Right. Yeah, see, I got the reverse Hitler. That's the one spot I don't have. I got the reverse.
Yeah, go for it, man.
That's how
Let that be your
unracist I
story.
am.
Like, hey
That's how
guys, it's a reverse Hitler. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Goodness.
I don't know, man. I
You
support
can go
it. You
Fu
want to
Manchu.
grow
Yeah,
up?
I've thought about doing that. The Harley back where you just have the mustache coming down, but nothing here. You know what I mean? So you just have the big mustache handlebars coming down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they go out like past your chin.
But then I
Like
feel
Fu
like, yeah,
Manchu's long.
yeah. But then I feel like I need like a vest if I do that, right? You got to wear a vest if you're doing that, and possibly no t-shirt. You know, you have to carry a knife on your hip in a belt.
Oh yeah.
You got to be like
For
full
sure.
biker. Full biker. Have you
Yeah,
ever
or
ridden a
what they-
motorcycle?
Nah,
I crashed one once. That was the end of my motorcycle career.
I'm cool.
So I only crashed it going like 10 miles an hour. I didn't get hurt or anything like that. So
Nah, they're too fast, man. Too reckless for me.
right. When you're married and you have children, you shouldn't own a motorcycle, really. Like that's not being responsible.
And I hope my son doesn't have an affinity for them either. You know, those young men, they're little thrill seekers.
Yeah. My son told me he wanted to buy one a few years back, and I'm like, please do not do this. He's an adult, and he didn't. Thank God he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When they're grown, you know, you're just kind of hoping they listen to you.
Yeah.
You don't have that stronghold on them anymore. So hopefully my son isn't a little speed demon.
Ugh.
And he won't want that, or you know, some kind of dad, I want a Mustang, like some crazy shit, you know.
Yeah.
Please take it easy.
Yeah, you can't. As being a parent, no matter how wealthy you are, you got to get your kids a safe car when they're young. Don't be getting them some monster with all kinds of horsepower and shit like that.
Something old that's made of metal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something heavy. You know, like a early 70s Cadillac or something with like 28 feet of engine between them and another car. That's what I'm talking about.
Grant has had a motorcycle license for 15 years and still hasn't bought one. He's been to too many motorcycle car collisions. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Some kind of knowledge or experience is keeping him from doing that.
Think about what you think about. Since motorcycles are a bad idea, my dad had a Russian one with a sidecar, though. It was called the sidecar motorcycle thing is super underrated for how cool that is. You know, I think it's a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, but that's very you're very unprotected.
Oh yeah, you're at the mercy of the guy driving that. He could just ram you right into something. You know,
just peel you right off the side of that motorcycle, man.
Like he could just take you right into a fire hydrant at 70 miles an hour in that thing. That little egg that you're in.
Yeah, pick the driver carefully, please.
Whenever I think of that, I always just think of Batman and Robin. I don't know why. I must have seen an image of it when I was a kid.
I feel like that was a thing. Like Robin was definitely in a sidecar. But just make sure
for sure.
If you're in the sidecar, just make sure you guys didn't have any recent arguments or you don't owe them a lot of money or some shit like that.
I saw a meme that said when you're with your bro and he starts driving really fast and says, "I did everything for her, man."
That's when you knock that fool out and grab the wheel.
Let me out of his car.
Yeah, like why would you take me with you dick?
Yeah,
because you never liked her. That's fine. You'd always tell him, and I don't trust that bitch.
Here it is. This is what I picture whenever I think of a motorcycle with a sidecar. Hold on, share screen. Entire screen. Here we go. That's what I think of every time.
Yeah. You know, Robin's like Batman. Don't fuck around.
I have an autographed picture of Burt Ward, that guy there that plays Robin, in the Robin outfit that my mom must have got like in the 60s or the 70s. It's just a black and white photo of like to Rebecca, Burt Ward, and he's in those little green like panties that he wears with those elf boots.
I don't think
why did Robin wear green Speedos? What's up?
I don't know. I think it was like a color scheme thing. You know, it's obviously green, red, yellow, and that's just
he's Jamaican.
Yeah, he's like Irie, a Batman. But I think that's just where the color scheme took him. You know, and they're like,
yeah, but why doesn't he have pants?
He does. Doesn't he have tights under it?
No,
he can't be out there with just a Speedo.
He's in green undies. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I know that, but doesn't he have yellow leggings underneath? That's what I'm saying.
No, look at the OG look was that.
Oh, just had him out there in some nut huggers.
Yes, he's in greeny tighties.
That's fucked up.
Look at this.
Look
at this shit.
Oh,
what the fuck is going on? What is this?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't speak to.
I don't like this at all.
to that. I don't like it either.
I like this Robin. A little bit better.
Like,
With the,
I don't like it either. Yeah, that's
the
what I'm
black
saying.
pants.
So at least the kid Robin, they threw some pants on him, so that was cool.
I love this meme where Batman's just slapping the shit out of him.
Yeah, insert fucking
Right.
whatever here. I love that one.
This one's better. The 1990s animated series. This is a better look. We're not in the green.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why I pictured him yellow, but yeah, somebody obviously said, "Look, man, we can't have Robin out here in his fucking underwear."
This is insane. The Batman would let him go out dressed like this. No modesty.
Yeah, that's crazy. But is that? I don't think Batman had the time to design it. I think that's Alfred. His shit he's working out. I think that's Alfred who designed that.
But yes, I have an autographed photograph. I have an autographed picture of Burt Ward.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what to do with it.
But Alfred, he was like, "Hey, Master Robin, your costume is complete with a hatch in the back for easy access to your bow." Like,
Tony's checking in from Australia, down under.
Okay.
I never do the accent correctly. I just make shit up and do some sort of shit accent. I don't know how to
I like you, mate. Crikey, look at the size of that bigger.
She was watching Gutfeld. If you watch Gutfeld tonight, 2 of my collaborators are there. Tyrus and Dean. I make comics with both of them. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's almost like I'm there.
Crikey.
So
Look at that. You got Dean and Tyrus on there, mate.
It's bonkers.
On there. It's
I feel like
Banza.
bonkers. Is bonkers British or Australian or both? I feel like that's
I
their
think
word.
bonkers is British.
Okay.
But
Is it one of those
Australians are
words?
British people too. They're just British
Right.
people with a record.
Right.
Because that's how it started. So, yeah, Brits and Aussies are, from our point of view, on the outside looking in,
Right.
you guys got a lot of similarities.
I feel like the entire Western world is European except for America. Do you feel that? Like Canada, even Canada, they go over
For
to Europe
sure.
and visit.
Yeah, they're heavily
South America.
influenced by France. They speak
Right.
French.
Oh,
Oui. They speak French up there. Like, isn't it their national language or some bullshit?
I think in Quebec it's the national language. Yeah, I
Quebec.
think so. The Quebecois.
Ooh, sorry.
Oh, it's British naval slang. There you go.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, because that's who was
Organization.
taking the prisoners over there, right?
That's
The
what I
British
heard.
Navy.
That's how Australia was like. They sent a lot of their
prison
bad
colony.
eggs over there.
Yeah, it was a prison colony. And then they pull up and go, "Off you go, mate." There you go.
Tony C says it's a Flaming Butte accent there.
And then as soon as they stepped off the boat, either a crocodile or a dingo or something would kill them because Australia is fucking crazy. The animals there are too much. No, thank you, Australia. You can keep all those poisonous, venomous, vicious, all that shit you got over there. Dude, no way.
You're roboting out.
What?
Is this real Jericho? Or is this AI Jericho?
You'll have to find out later. Depends on what crazy shit I say.
Well, you were telling me it had been a while since you'd seen Star Wars. Yes?
Years and years and years and years.
Now, have you seen it as much as I have? Because I've seen it probably 100 times. I watched it repeatedly as a child.
No way. I've probably seen it twice. And we're talking, like maybe the first 2. Where did Billy D. Williams come in?
Billy D, wrong button. Billy D is the guy who's running Cloud City in the second movie, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, so it's New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Yep, those are the real Star Wars movies.
Yeah, those are the only ones I'll watch. I'm not
Those are
watching
the only
that
ones
new
that
shit.
are real and count in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm not watching that new bullshit. No, thank you. But no, it's been 35 years since I've seen Star Wars. I've only seen it as a kid. Maybe bits and pieces, as an adult, but I never sat down and watched the whole movie since I was a kid.
Wow.
So it was definitely like watching it for the first time.
I think the last time I saw it was about a year ago. I watched the first 3 original ones with Big Baby, and she sort of understood it. She really liked it. And when stuff would blow up, she'd go fire.
That's right.
She'd go hot.
That's right.
So, yeah.
But no, it's basically like I was seeing it for the first time. But it was cool to see where a lot of iconic things come from, and to actually see the scene that it come from, not just the meme or the excerpt. To see like the whole scene, the lines that led up to it, the lines after it, all that kind of shit. So that was cool. Yeah, like there was a disturbance in the force. What did he say to that guy in the beginning who was doubting his plan? He was like, your lack of confidence,
your lack of faith is disturbing.
Yeah, that's what he told him. He started choking his ass out.
He chokes him out.
Yeah, then older British dude was like,
your sad devotion to that old religion. Yeah, they're giving Darth Vader shit about being a Jedi.
So, yeah, he fucked him up, and he's all let him go, and he like let his ass breathe again. But yeah, shit like that, hearing those, knowing those lines, and then seeing where they come from is pretty cool.
Yeah. Now who? Where do you fall on this? Because I have a hunch that if you have to pick the two male leads, I like Han Solo, and I find Luke to be very whiny, and I don't like Luke very much. I think Han Solo is who you want to be. He's cool. He's his own guy. He's a cowboy. He gets the girls. He's a badass. Luke is.
That's true, but
I don't like
Luke's really young though. Like he's a kid, man. Like his bones haven't hardened yet. He's really young. He's probably what, 18?
I was going to go to the Tashi station to pick up power converters with my friends.
But I would just say it's his youth. He's so young. Obviously, he's going to get some skills and become a badass. But I think Han Solo's cake was done baking before Luke Skywalker, but it will be done baking. He will be a full-fledged man when it's all said and done.
And he did kiss his sister, like major kiss too.
Well, we don't want to talk
in the second movie. It's like,
But did he know it was his sister?
They didn't know.
Oh,
they didn't know.
Yeah,
I don't think the writer knew. I don't think the writer knew that was his sister.
They got so confused. Like, wait a minute, guys, we shouldn't have done that. Yeah, because some nerd was gonna be like, actually, guys, that was his sister.
Actually, he just wants to kiss his sister. That's like super gross.
I mean, that is. I mean, whew, you might have to contemplate your end after doing that, but they didn't know, so it's good.
Yeah, I saw a thing on Twitter, Instagram, somewhere. I saw like we're married and we have a baby, and we found out we were separated at birth, brother and sister. Now I know it's the internet and people just lie for clicks, but I bothered to not read the rest of that because I didn't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't need to know that.
I mean, I'm sure that happens. You get these communities where people don't travel a lot. Yeah, man, you're gonna end up, joinking a family member, but a sister, bleh. And then you just replaying all those sensual evenings together.
Nope. Nope. I was talking to my wife about on Father's Day. I want to go see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. They're releasing it in theaters that weekend for Father's Day.
That's cool.
So we're going to see Sean Connery, and I don't like the plot point that is unnecessary in that movie. That you find out that Henry Jones Sr. slept with Ilsa, whatever, the German lady, but so did Indiana Jones. And then they find out
twins.
But that's father and son. That's so perverse. That's gross. Don't write stuff like that.
They might as well have made them touch dicks together.
But okay, if that happened to you in real life and you didn't know, like you and your dad didn't know, but if you found out, you wouldn't tell your son or your dad. Just like you go to the grave with that one. Like, forget it, dude. I'm not saying
that can't be a bonding moment. Like, it's not like you and your buddy, oh, dude, did she do this? And what about her mole on her butt? Like, you can't have those moments with your dad.
No. I thought that was unnecessary. They shouldn't have written that into Indiana Jones. That was gross.
But speaking of, maybe it was like this, him making out with his sister. Maybe they just didn't see. They didn't think. I don't know. I would hope that nobody was in that writer room like, dude, this is gonna be crazy. We gotta make them bang the same chick. But speaking of plot twists, like that, like realizing, oh shit, that was my sister I was banging. There's a Samuel L. Jackson movie, and spoiler alert, but I can't remember the name of it. But he plays an ex-con.
I don't remember asking you a damn thing.
I don't ask you a damn thing, motherfucker. But he's an ex-con. He gets out, and a guy who he screwed over, his son is basically taking over the crime business, and he says, "You're going to do a job for me to make things right," because Samuel L. Jackson's carrying this guilt of getting. I think he got his dad killed or something, and he ended up going to prison. So he's like, "You're going to do this job for me to make shit right." And he's like, "Yeah, man, we'll do it." And he's all, "Here's your partner," and it's this girl, and she's younger than him, but she's going to help him gather information. She's going to be like the chick, who can get close to the bad guys because she's a little hottie, and then bring back the information. They're going to pull this job off together. And they end up falling in love with each other, and they have these gratuitous sex scenes and real NC-17 type shit. Eesh. And then the guy tells him later, he's all, "By the way, that girl I was telling you about, your daughter who you haven't seen since she was 5, that's her." And he's like, "What?" Like they're like new relationship kind of sex, 3, 4, 5 times a day, falling asleep in a heap, all that shit. And that was him getting him back for getting his dad killed. Dude, that shit was so. I was like, no.
You want to put the guy with the Cookie Monster pajama pants in jail? I want to put the guy that wrote that in jail.
Gabe, if I was King Jericho, I'd be like, "Gabe, jail him. Go right ahead. Do what you want." But
the dungeon. Put him in the dungeon.
Put him down there. But that was a hell of a plot twist.
Terrible.
Like, no,
it's nothing new in literature, because if you go all the way back to Oedipus, right, the old Greek story, Oedipus, it was the guy who it was prophesied over him that he would kill his father and sleep with his own mother, and so he runs away from the kingdom. He's like the prince to be. He runs away and does all this stuff, and as fate would have it, he ends up doing that stuff without knowing it. Woo. Kind of like he ends up doing the Oedipus. So this is an old thing. We might have to ask Dr. Sigmund Freud just what in the hell is going on here, because I don't like this at all. Now, on a personal note, on a personal note, my wife and myself are not brother and sister, but
good thing
our grandmothers are from the same town, Juarez, Mexico.
Right by Texas.
Right there. It's just, it touches the border with El Paso.
Yeah, just on the other side of Texas.
So there's a lot of people there, though. So the odds of them being related are very low. But I'm just saying.
Just don't let your research stop there.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to ever look into it. I'm never going to look into that.
Don't. Do not. And I mean, but if that happened, and not just you personally, but anybody in general, what if it turns out like she's your first cousin?
Oof.
Then what do? You guys have all this history together, all this time together, and children.
You wouldn't do it.
You just be like, "Hey, I'm cool."
And your kids are fine. They're not like mentally retarded or anything like that.
Extra chromosome or nothing like that. Daddy, and you're like, "Oh, that's why. That's why they turned out like that."
Look at this guy trying to be funny. He says, "My uncle married my mom's sister." Yeah, that's what would make him your uncle. That's exactly how uncles work.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Right.
That's how it's supposed.
Unless you mean something else. I don't know.
Like if your uncle married your mom, then we got some shit. Then you're crossing wires and shit's gonna come out.
That's bad. So anyway, Luke kissed his sister. A very passionate kiss.
Somebody's gonna have a baby who has extra strength.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that baby's strong.
You want me to kill him?
No. Here's a cookie.
I kill him now.
No, go sit down.
I kill him for you.
Sit down and watch SpongeBob. Shut up. Here's a piece of cheese.
Ooh, cheese.
Ooh, crab cheese.
Then I kill him after cheese?
No. Damn it. Sit down and watch your TV.
Kill him after TV?
Then at this point, you got to take up some kind of rolled up paper, like newspaper or magazine, and swat him over the head a couple times.
Oh, here we go. No, I mean my dad and my uncle. Ostensibly, I think he means they are brothers, married like two sisters. That's all good.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fine. That's cutting it close. That's like when you do the slow-mo replay and the baseball almost bounces out of bounds on the chalk, but it just stays in. But it's
getting
cool.
close.
You can marry two sisters, two brothers.
You're good. It's like when you're fermenting something and you're like at the point just before it turns into alcohol. It's still non-alcoholic, but another few minutes in that distillery or whatever, you can have some fucking white lightning. So they got close. That's cool. Oh, but genetically, you're good.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
So,
Did anybody Did anybody in your family get out, a half hour early from school so they didn't bite the other students? If not, good, man.
Right. Oh, completely unrelated to everything we're talking about. I'm just talking about like good movies because we love horrible movies on this channel, but we also love good ones. If you have not seen The Prestige in 2011, starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Hell no.
Run, don't walk.
Hell no.
It's a Christopher Nolan movie, and all he does is make bangers. Christopher Nolan. He just makes amazing movies. I hadn't seen it, and I watched it the day after I got back from Mexico because I was just laying around because I was recovering from traveling because I was, you're tired. Like you go to relax on a vacation, then you need a day after the vacation to just do nothing when you get home. Mm-hmm. And The Prestige is outstanding. Outstanding movie. And
for real, outstanding or outstanding?
Love it. That is like for a thrillers to me, like that is like one of the top movies I've seen in a long time for a thriller.
Okay.
Don't look into it because it has some twists that you need to not know when you watch it. And I'm not spoiling anything by saying that, but do not research it because if you haven't seen it, okay, when you write a story or you write a joke, you make any piece of art, it's the ending. You have to nail the ending. You've made people watch your movie for 2 hours now, and if you do not get the ending right, nothing matters. And I'm watching this movie, The Prestige, and it's so good. It's so crazy. It's so dramatic. We're closing on like 5, 6, 7 minutes left in the movie. I'm looking at my watch. I'm looking at the screen. Like, they're not going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to pull this off. And dude, they pulled it off like no other. Love The Prestige. Outstanding. Outstanding.
So,
yeah.
Since you have an awesome movie, you'll be Obi-Wan Kenobi in this scenario. So to your blue lightsaber, here's a red lightsaber.
Oh, here we go.
There's a movie out right now on Netflix starring Jessica Alba called Trigger Warning.
Trigger Warning?
Yes. As Prestige is an awesome movie, this is the same, but
in reverse.
In Horribleville. Like that movie's a 10. I'm over here at -10. I'm right across from you, but I'm in a bad part of town. This movie, and it's not like, it's a play on, I guess, terms, whatever you call it, trigger warning. Like it's not some like untriggered, but obviously that's what they're playing off of. This movie is about a young lady who ex-special forces. She's retired now. She's out of the game. Hey, we need to.
She's coming back for one last score.
Yeah, she goes to her favorite coffee shop. She walks out. There's her old CIA buddy. I got a job for you. I told you, I'm done. But it's Braddock's. He's back. Who? Braddock's. He killed half my team. That kind of shit, right?
Right.
So she's retired special forces, badass. But she goes back to her
all the badass women killer special forces.
No, that's where you're wrong, Gabe. And I'm sick of you trying to pull this.
What are there, like 2 million women special forces killers?
I'm sick of you pulling this misogynist bullshit. All right? I'm tired of it. You're caught up in the Chuck Norrises and all this kind of shit. The real badasses. Chuck Norris did Missing in Action about a woman. All right? All these stories that they have these men playing, they're really about strong special ops women.
Independent queens.
Yeah, that's if you look back, Gabe, at these movies like Rambo's, like they're based on female characters.
Right.
So she goes back to her hometown to investigate the murder of her dad. And you can guess how it goes from there when they go back to their small.
A lot of getting tough with dudes and like flip them on the ground.
Hey!
Disarming guys and putting the gun back in their face.
Hey, what are you doing over there? Hey, let's kick her ass. And 10 guys in work boots and jeans and Pendletons, they all surround her. We're gonna give you 5 seconds to get the hell out of here.
Or they make some crude sexual remark and then she kicks him in the balls and
nice tits. And he goes, I'm gonna give you to the count of 5, and she goes, you still talking, and then
dude, they're still making movies like this. They don't learn their lesson.
What I love is when Jessica Alba, she's 5 foot. Go ahead and put a number in there. No more than 125 pounds. No more.
She's never crossed 130. This woman.
Never. She's never seen 135. She's heard about it. Never seen it. I love when they take a big guy, 6'3", 250-ish, muscles, I like when they take and twist one of their arms, and they're holding their arm with one arm, and then they take them by the back of the head and like slam it into a wall or onto a hot stove or onto a table. Because there's no way that big dude can get out of a 125-pound woman holding his arm with one of hers. He just can't. He tries, but he can't. So if you're into that kind of stuff, there you go.
Ugh, terrible. I saw a woman like she was a jiu-jitsu and she was got a belt and she was really good. And she like got the guy in the arm bar and he just stands up and picks her up on his arm.
And that's with zero anger and adrenaline coursing through his veins.
Right.
That's just messing around. If he was like, pissed off, fight mode, then she's going through the rafters. Right. And that's that, dude. That's that. But this is what they want. This is what they want.
Speaking of going through the rafters, Star Wars on Double Impact. Guys, it's time. We've been doing the show for over 3 years. This is the movie that ignited a 2-3-year-old Gabe's imagination. I started drawing when I was about 3 years old, and it was Star Wars. It was space battles. That's the thing that led me to be a comic book artist. I actually got to work on Star Wars professionally in 2011 or 12 or 13, something back then. I did 24 issues of a brand new Star Wars comic book that took place between this movie and Empire Strikes Back. You know, the ice planet where they have their secret base in the second movie? We did the story of how they find that place because they're looking for a place to have a secret rebel base. We did that. It was 20 issues long. It was amazing work. I loved it. And I did a few other issues of another Star Wars series. So I am quite literally a part of Star Wars. It is professional work. I've contributed to it. And I have a small little thing I'm very proud of. We had some different X-Wing fighters. You know, the good guys' spaceships where the wings open up. They're always white, gray with the orange trim, the red-orange trim. Well, we had the Stealth Squadron led by Princess Leia, and those were black with orange trim on them. And then we had Princess Leia's personal X-Wing in the first issue. It was white and blue. And, I did all the color on that. And they built real life-size X-Wings of those, and they're at Disneyland and Disney World. So I've gone there and stood in front of those and taken a picture of those. My little contribution to the Star Wars universe. So there you go.
You're welcome, Star Wars.
You're welcome, Star Wars fans.
Now you owe me millions.
Because you owe me a kiss from but not from my sister. Whatever you do, if you're a princess, I want to know if you're my sister before you try to kiss me.
I mean, if you have to, fine. But if you try not to get my sister, that'd be cool.
You know what? No one has ever brought up or ever said, ever. Would it be true or not? If she's a princess, is Luke a prince? No, because she's a princess because of her adopted parents. That's right. Okay. Yeah, Bail Organa. He was the king or chancellor or whatever of Alderaan. Jericho, you don't know this side of me, Jericho.
I don't.
You do not know how much I know about Star Wars. But when Queen Amidala had Luke and Leia, the twins, and she died, Obi-Wan Kenobi took the twins and hid them from Darth Vader because he didn't want Darth Vader to raise them to be on the bad side of the Force because they were so powerful. And that's why Luke lived on Tatooine with his Uncle Owen and his Aunt Beru. And Princess Leia lived on Alderaan with Bail Organa and his wife, and she became the princess. So Luke is not a prince. So it's Princess Leia, but not Prince Luke. So there you go. Yeah,
that's true. You know what, Gabe? I bet you have an alter ego, and it's like, have you ever seen like in a cartoon where the character's suiting up and they'll do a close-up on like, they're putting on a glove or something? Yours is like a wrist brace, and then you put on your glasses, check, and then your tongue goes like this. And
then I put on my Star Wars bow tie.
Yeah, check, and then you're like a Star Wars cup of soda next to you, and it zooms in on you slamming it on the table, and some of it spills out.
Maybe some Star Wars suspenders.
Yeah, and then you go to the door and you turn the knob and it says, "You not, you're scared," and your family knows Dad's in Star Wars.
You know what I am looking for? That I'm angry about. So the original cuts of Star Wars, you could buy them on VHS, say all through the 80s, and I got them as a kid in the 80s. Don't know where they are now, probably in the attic packed away. But I want them on DVD, Blu-ray, and they don't make them because they added those stupid PlayStation graphics special effects in like 1997. And the director, the owner of Star Wars, until he sold it to Disney, George Lucas said, no, that's the definitive cut of Star Wars. And the old ones you watched in the 70s, 80s, that's the rough cut. I don't want that out there. So they will not make DVDs or anything of the original version I grew up watching. But In 2006, they released a 2-disc set that you could only buy at Best Buy for like 3 months. I need to get this. I went on eBay last night or Amazon. It's $200 because it's so rare. But I want the old version of Star Wars. I hate the stupid graphics they added in the 90s.
It doesn't sound like too much.
I'm going to have to
Is it all the movies?
It's all 3 movies. It's a 6 DVD or Blu-ray set. And it has the new cut from 1997 with the new stupid graphics. And then it has the old stuff from the 70s and 80s on another disc. But like Jericho, they changed storytelling stuff that was so stupid. So Han Solo runs into Greedo, the bounty hunter, in like the very beginning of this movie. And Greedo's like, hey, you owe Jabba the Hutt money. I'm going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. And then before Greedo can do anything, Han Solo shoots him under the table and kills him, right? You remember that? Yep. They changed it in the new edition to where Greedo shoots first, and then they digitally like move Harrison Ford's head. It looks so terrible. He's like, and the laser misses him because you can move faster than a laser because lasers move the speed of light. So he dodges a laser and then shoots Greedo in self-defense. Because him just shooting Greedo first made him like immoral or bad.
You know, I bet Adrian's on Amazon right now, buying or wherever.
Father's Day's coming up.
Buying this shit right now. Good job.
Oh my gosh. And the singing and the dancing they added to Jabba's palace in the 3rd movie is brutal. It's so bad. So bad. There are t-shirts that I've seen people wear that says this on it, Jericho. Hand shot first. And they took it
so
out.
this must be the new version because in the one I watched on Amazon, clearly Greedo, is that his name? He shot first.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Greedo shoots first. It's so weak looking. It's so lame. So anyway, I could tell you the entire plot of this story in about 5 minutes if you just let me monologue. I know the whole thing backwards and forwards. I will not do it.
Bet you do.
Starts off with an Imperial destroyer over the planet of Tatooine, the desert planet of Tatooine, inspired by Frank Herbert's Dune, a desert planet with the sandworms and the spice. Do you know what Han Solo is carrying with Chewbacca that he trades that's a drug? See, Han Solo's just a smuggler. He does bad things. Spice. That's what Han Solo had. Further, what do Luke's aunt and uncle do for a living? They're moisture farmers, just like in Dune. You have the Fremen and all that.
Weird.
They have to collect moisture and all that.
We farm moisture. Ugh.
Right. So
sounds genital.
Anyways, this Star Destroyer is chasing after a Corvette, which is Princess Leia's ship. It's an ambassador ship. And you meet R2-D2 and C-3PO. And I don't know who other C-3PO is back there. I wonder what his story is.
They don't really show him. I think it's the only time they show him.
Right. They do show that type of, it's a protocol droid, just so you know, Jericho. The type of android that C-3PO is a protocol droid. They are human-cyborg relations. They speak thousands of languages. So I just thought you'd want to know that if you ever wanted to.
I did. That was a burning question. I was thinking what I could do to get over the edge. Thank you.
Right. So anyway, so the bad guys, they're going to board this ship because they want to catch Princess Leia, right? They want to catch her because allegedly she has the plans that can destroy the Death Star. And they made a whole TV series that just aired on Disney and a movie about where those plans came from. In the movie here, it's one line of dialogue. Mon Mothma and those other people say, many Bothans died to bring us these plans. And that's it. They made an entire movie called Star Wars Rogue One that shows you how they got the plans. And it's crazy, Jericho. The end of the Rogue One movie from like 5 years ago, the final scene of that movie is the beginning of this movie. It comes right to here, where they're giving the plans from Princess Leia to R2-D2.
If they play their cards right, which isn't hard to do, there are infinite storylines that can come out of this, where you can do spin-off shows and movies, and
well, just make sure everyone's
going forever. But that's where they go wrong. If the story of Star Wars has been around for so long, people have been able to go so deep into the story that you have a million storylines that can splinter off of this. But if you keep making fucking duds that are on for 10 episodes or one season, you're stupid.
Yeah, but Jericho, if they don't make the new Star Wars that way, how will I know they hate Trump?
But how long can this happen? How long can they go on just tossing turds up against the wall? How long? Eventually, somebody has to say, no more. No more $100 million, $200 million just, burnings of a pile of money.
They
So, like,
announced
I heard,
that they're gonna do way less of the Marvel movies and the Star Wars stuff. And
but
they
I heard
should.
like one of the TV shows had like a $200 million budget. You were telling me about a
Oh, yeah.
video game that had a $200 or $300 million
Yeah.
budget.
And the wokeness just
How long can they
somebody-
kill shit like that?
the studios they fire everyone and they close the studios because nobody wants this woke shit. Woke lost, man. It did lose. People hate
But
it.
just fucking do a 180. You don't have to close down anything. Do a 180 and bring your shit back to life. That's all you have to do.
That's not how these people work, dude. They are so arrogant and ideologically dug in. Dude, how fucking delusional and stupid do you have to be one of those pronoun people? Were you declaring that other people have to change what they believe and the way their diction and syntax, the way they speak for your majesty? Get the fuck out of here. Do you know how weird and delusional, narcissistic you have to be to even attempt that? Hey, Jericho, I know you speak English and you understand how pronouns work. I'm going to tell you how they work for you now. Think of the arrogance of someone like that.
There's
There's
no longevity.
Whatever. Like, fuck it.
There's no longevity in that. When this all finally burns down and crumbles, you're going to look at the span of this woke shit. It's going to be like 10, 15 years. Even in a human life, that's nothing. Think of 15 to 30. That was a snap of the fingers, a blink of an eye for us. So you traded all that for 10 for like an 8 to 10 year run. Now you're standing there with no job. You're curled up on the floor every night like Martin Riggs trying to think of a reason not to ventilate the back of your head. For what? Because either that's going to destroy you, because you're going to run out of jobs, or you are going to have to do your own montage where you grow your hair out, you get rid of the dye, you put a suit on, you cover up your stupid tattoos, you take out your gauged earrings, you practice your interview personality, you get in your car, and you conform to normal shit once again.
I've been doing a lot of work, and you know the stuff I'm talking about, that letter I wrote from my past, Jericho, the personal stuff with me and the divorce and step parents, all the stuff I've been working on. And I've been working on myself since I was 33. I said, enough. I was not doing great mental health wise most of my life, from like teens into my early 30s. A lot of problems. And you wouldn't recognize that person then from my early 30s and 20s wouldn't recognize me now. But there's a quote from the great Carl Jung. He's one of the fathers of modern psychology, like 100 years ago. And he said this thing, and I want you guys all to just really internalize this and apply it to your own life every day, all the time. Because I think most people don't apply this at all. He said, listen close, because this is so good and so important. Very simple. Until the subconscious is made conscious, it will control people's lives, and they will just call it fate. Your life is controlled by your subconscious. It is not controlled by your conscious mind. The subconscious is the rudder of the boat. Deep underwater, it's little. The boat is huge, but the rudder controls everything. All those beliefs and the hurts and the hangups, that's all subconscious. Until you bring them out into the open and you admit to yourself what they are, and you make choices to live differently and deny those hurts and those lies that you tell yourself that you don't even know you tell yourself, until you fix that shit, it's driving the bus. It really is. All that stuff, the lack of confidence and not having boundaries, letting people walk all over you, unmet expectations, unexpressed expectations. So you build resentment. All this shit that we all do, it's subconscious, and you gotta draw it out. You gotta be brave. You gotta be fearless and pull it out of there, because no one's gonna do it for you. No one's gonna pull that out. All those hurts. And I think it's one of the most important things you can do is really, when you do stuff and you get in a mess in life and you hurt yourself, you hurt others, work backwards. Go, why did I do that? Okay, I did that because I felt this way. But why did I feel this way? Oh, because I thought this. Well, why did I think this? And blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden you're going back to, oh, my dad was never around. Like, you'll get there. You'll find out what it was. But you got to do the work. And then just like find ways to fix that stuff. I'm not a doctor, but there's tons of stuff out there, support groups. There's obviously church, there's therapists, but do the work, because you don't want to. A true tragedy would be to live a life that isn't yours. To live an inauthentic life, to never reach your potential, and to always have these hurts and frustrations and not do shit about it. No one is coming to fix it for you. But the great thing is you have complete control. You really do. So, yeah, it's a very important thing to get that subconscious, get that garbage out of there. You quit believing fake news about yourself. So anyway, let's Star Wars it up. The bad guys are chasing the good guys. They want their Death Star plans right. They know Princess Leia has them. They're boarding the ship. It's such a great looking movie. 48 years. The birthday of this movie was 48 years ago last week. This movie premiered. So this movie's 2 years older than me.
1977.
I think the design in this movie is just flawless. I love the lived-in world. Everything is like grungy and dirty. There's knobs and dials and what they call greeble. If you look at all the stuff, there's a word for it in like set design in Hollywood and space. All that stuff on the ship, it has a name. All those pipes and tubes, they call it greeble. And they just find junk around the workshop and they glue it on there in interesting ways and stuff to make it look all technical and cool like that. But then one of the greatest entrances ever, you know, the bad guys connect, they get the good guy's ship and they connect to it, and then they use a welding torch to cut the door open, and Darth Vader comes through, and the rebel troops are shooting at him, and, you know, he can block it all with the Force, and he throttles these guys. He just mauls them to pieces. So now he's on the, go ahead.
But Darth Vader, of course, you know, if not the #1 character from Star Wars, a lot of people love Darth Vader, even though he's a bad guy doing bad shit. And I think it's because he looks so cool. Darth Vader is like an AR-15. It's hated so much by idiots because it looks so cool. Right. The AR-15 frame with the rails system, you could put lights and optics and forward grips and all that. Dude, AR-15s look fucking cool.
Yeah, I love the Picatinny rail on the AR. I don't like the look of the M16 with that more cone shaped you know, the barrel
and the big
thing.
front sight and shit.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
the
rear sight.
The ARs are sexy.
They look fucking cool. You can put all kinds of cool shit on them. Yeah. Even a bare bones out of the box AR-15 looks cool. And I think the same thing with Darth Vader. Yeah, he's a bad dude, but he looks fucking cool. He sounds cool. His powers are cool. He has the Force, but I think he's closer. People feel more of a connection to him because I think some of us, we're not going to be Clark Kent. We're not Boy Scouts. We're not going to only use our super duper powers for good. I think a lot of us would fuck around. We probably use the Force to rip the door off of a bank safe and, you know, take the contents. Nobody gets hurt, but, you know, we would probably do some bad shit sometimes with our powers. And that's what Darth Vader does. He just fucks shit up, and he's just like them. He's a Jedi. He's a Jedi master, but he's gone the other way. And I think deep down, or maybe not so deep down for some of us, we do some bad shit with our powers.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, I think Darth Vader is a perfect villain. He can do no wrong. But there is one thing he has one flaw and one flaw only. I'll show you.
He's voiced by one of the coolest voices.
This is Darth Vader's only flaw. He's a tremendous.
No, that's not his fault. That's
he's a
not
Raider
Darth's
fan,
fault.
though.
No, don't
Here he is at the Raider game. Here he is.
Don't say that.
I have the Raiders by 7 points today.
No, hell no. Even though I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan as some people, I won't let you do that to Darth Vader. Right. The Raiders abducted Darth Vader. That whole
Darth Vader, dude.
Oh, stupid. Darth Vader's not a loser.
Look at this shit.
They're losers. But that's because he looks cool. He's blacked out. It's because he looks cool.
Dude, that is Al Davis, the owner of the Raiders, shaking hands, making an evil alliance with Darth Vader.
That's what killed him. That's what killed Al Davis the day he corrupted Darth Vader. Nah, man. Darth Vader's one of the coolest villains. You know, we'd have to run down and make a list, but he's definitely up there with the coolest villains.
I mean, again, the design in this movie from head to toe, it looks spectacular. The story is great. The cape. But the stormtroopers, they're skeletons. That's what they are. They look like skeletons. Of course, they have a skeletal face. They're white and black. That's like a skeletal Halloween costume. And then all the ships and the guns and the hallways, and it looks real. This is what you would like. Yeah, it's kind of grungy. It looks very lived in. It looks like a used world. It doesn't have that clean, slick Star Trek. Ugh, I can't stand Star Trek.
Well, imagine being a kid, 1977. You're 12 years old. So you were born in what, 1965?
Right.
You know, maybe you're 20 years old or something like that. You know, you're a young man. You're a kid. Imagine being 9 or 10. Imagine being 10 to 12 years old, watching this shit in a theater in 1977. The special effects, practical you know, the models and stuff, obviously. But at the time, to put yourself in 1977, this shit must have been insane. I would say this was the same as when my brother came back home from watching Terminator 2 in the movie theater.
Right.
It was like he went to a mountain and brought back fire to our village. Like we were
Right.
I was like, dude, because I wasn't old enough.
Right.
Dude,
This
tell
movie,
me everything. Tell me everything you saw.
This particular movie is the line of demarcation for special effects. A new special effects company that still exists to the day is one of the best ever. Industrial Light and Magic was formed to do the special effects of this. It was no movie looked like this before this movie.
Mhm.
And it wasn't close. Like you're saying, he went to the mountain and brought back fire. Like the way Star Wars 1977 looked compared to every movie that had come before for the 100 years or whatever of film making before, well, not 100 years, but you know, like 70 years or whatever it was, nothing looked like this. It was revolutionary, this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
feel
the
like
invention of the light bulb or something.
The people came out of the theaters and like their hair was like blown back like a cartoon. Like they just came out of the theaters like, what the fuck did we just see? Like they just saw sorcery or
Right.
something like that. You know, I imagine there had to have been some kind of, you know, Christian women's group that was like, the children cannot be watching these Star Wars movies. Like I'm sure it was just, and same thing with Terminator 2. That took it to another level. And I would say The Matrix coming less than 10 years after that. That was another line of demarcation where it affected everything. Like everybody was trying to do this.
Yeah, the visually, the movies that change everything. Star Wars, Terminator 2, Toy Story was the first fully CGI animated movie. So that's one right there.
Yeah.
That set the new bar.
Everything.
Right. The Matrix, that was revolutionary. You know what's a movie that didn't do good, that is not a great movie, I don't like it, but it was so influential, was 2009's Tron. You say, why? Have you noticed that since 2009, you have this electric neon piping on so many things?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tron, everyone wears black, but then they have like the electric neon stripes on them. And, you know, working in entertainment and comic books, all that, I noticed after Tron came out in 2009, and still to this day, that's like a trend in the sci-fi art world of these electric piping on everything. That was super influential. The design,
but it looked fucking cool. Like I think
cool
Tron sucked.
Tron
the story sucked.
Boring. Oh my god,
it sucked ass.
It looks amazing,
but it looked fucking cool. Even the boring, like if you have kids and they don't go to sleep and like you got to drive in the car or walk around the house, just put on the dialogue scenes of Tron and they'll be out like a light. So even in those stupid ass boring scenes, it still looked cool. Like Darth Vader, they had the cape, the long black, and then
the samurai helmet. That's what that is. That's a samurai helmet.
That shit looked fucking cool. It looked awesome. But man, if you're having sleep problems, you have insomnia, fucking fast forward past the good parts of Tron, and you are out. That shit sucked.
It was bad. So the bad guys get on the ship. They want to find Princess Leia, get those Death Star plans back from her, because the Death Star plans show the weakness on how the rebels can blow it up.
And they want to know where the rebel camp is.
Right. Too. Oh, that's right. They want to know the base on Yavin 4.
Yeah, so they can get those little fuckers.
So Princess Leia sticks some little, USB card or some little SD card or something in R2-D2's head. She records a video. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. Blah, blah, blah. So it's General Kenobi, who used to be a general for the rebels. Now he lives in a cave on Tatooine, the desert planet right below them. And he watches creepily Luke Skywalker. He watches Luke grow up and makes sure that no evil Jedis find Luke, because they can like kind of sense him, through the Force or whatever. So he's Luke's protector. He's Luke's protector for the child. Luke doesn't even know he's there. He doesn't know Obi-Wan Kenobi exists and lives in a cave or wherever the hell he lives. His little hut out in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
But Kenobi knows him, knows about him, knows his potential.
Imagine Luke comes home from school and he tells his aunt, I was like, yeah, I saw the old guy with the beard again.
Fucking guy.
He just stares at me from across the street. I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, and then one of his hands always goes inside of that robe.
Oh, in the samurai robe. So anyway, before they can be caught, the gay golden robot and his little buddy, they get inside an escape pod and jettison out of the big ship, Princess Leia ship. It's a huge ship for thousands of people. It's not like a little one. And they fly down. They escape an escape pod down to the desert planet of Tatooine, where Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi live. Darth Vader's like, tear their ship apart, find the rebels, but he doesn't know that R2-D2 and C-3PO got away.
But this guy, that guy, he fucking kills him. I feel like in that scene, he kept squeezing him, and then eventually the guy died, and he was almost like, oops. Like Darth Vader picked him off the ground, was squeezing his throat. Eventually he's gonna give out, and he just fucking tosses the guy on the ground. He's dead. Fucking clean it up.
Herbert Kenobi. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Darth Vader does he does a lot of choking. He chokes him here. He chokes him with his actual hand.
Yeah,
and in other scenes, he just does the force choke, where he just makes the symbol at you in the air, but then it still chokes. So,
yeah, that's his thing.
If you had force powers like that, where you could affect things just by waving your hands around, would you like you're watching TV and would you just like wave a beer over to yourself or?
Yeah, I use it for all kinds of shit.
Would you? I would force pinch, like force choke, right? You don't actually touch the throat. I would force pinch my wife's butt from across the room.
No, you got to go hands on with that.
I would do both.
You got to get up
at a distance, and I don't want to
get up and get over there. No, that's the one thing where your powers wouldn't work. You try, and it wouldn't work. I got to get up. I got to get up and go over there. I would force people to punch themselves in the dick if I caught you in public wearing pajamas. That's what I would do. Yeah. And if you're a girl, because you don't have any balls, and I don't know how much kicking a girl or punching a girl in her vagina hurts. I imagine it hurts because you're getting, contact, but I don't think it's the same. So then I would force them to like pinch their nipples or something.
All right. Getting a little freaky.
Well, I mean, girls are like, oh, getting kicked in your vagina hurts. Yeah, I'm sure it hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much as getting kicked in your balls.
Yeah, that's a survival thing.
That's dry heave level. You don't even understand that. No, we have children. Okay. But you still don't understand. That's like saying, I drink Jack Daniels, so I know what beer tastes like. No, it's both alcohol, but you don't understand.
Now that I'm older, I have more patience. I don't argue with people about facts like I used to when I was younger, because why waste your time? But one that used to get my goat was when women would say women had a higher pain threshold than men. Oof, that is so clearly not true. And their scientific research shows it's not even close.
But their go-to is what?
To tell you it's not close.
But they say they have either cramps, menstrual cramps, or childbirth. That's their two. That's their go-to. I'm
not saying those things don't hurt. I'm just saying men have a higher.
But that's what they always say. That's the only thing that they say are those two. And there are a lot of other things that can bring you a lot of pain. And that's the two aces that they have are period cramps and childbirth. I don't know. I'd rather have period cramps and get kicked in the balls. That can't be as bad.
You know why women can't drink as much as us, even pound for pound? Like a man and a woman of the same weight, the woman cannot drink nearly as much. You know why? Women
the size of our liver.
They have way less blood than we do. Men have a lot more blood than women. Because women be fat. And fat doesn't need a lot of blood. Fat uses very little blood to survive.
In all the right places.
Yeah, boy. Oh, I'm not complaining about the fat. Believe me.
Boy.
The fat is it's good with me.
So, yeah, it's like
there's a Mexican
jumping
saying,
off of
sorry to interrupt, but there's a Mexican saying about the women. It's the bone is for the dog, the meat is for the man.
Thank you. Get out of here, Rover. But it's like if you jump off the high dive, do you want to jump into a really deep pool or a pool with half as much water? Yeah, you probably take the really deep one. A lot more room. So yeah, they can't hang with us. And that's fine. But period cramps, I think getting kicked in your balls trumps that. You guys have no idea.
Right.
And then you get that millisecond of, hey, this might not hurt. And then here it comes.
Well, you do. You get a fake out when you get hit there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like kids have a homing magnet for that. Like you're playing, like you got a toddler around the house and they want to throw the ball and they want to use it. And they're like Greg Abbott, like Randy Johnson. Like
Randy Johnson, we did to that bird.
Like an MLB all-star pitcher. Somehow little kids are like, you know what, Dad? Why don't you see how that feels?
Dude, I picked my son up and he was kicking his feet. He was like 4. And I've been down on the floor before after getting kicked in the nuts by my son. And I remember thinking to myself, this is such a guy thought. Ladies, you'll never understand this. Remember laying on the ground and my wife, you always hear your wife go, leave him alone. Come on, let's go. Let's get out. Give your dad a minute. They always clear the children out of the room. But I remember laying on the floor thinking to myself, like if somebody came in here right now, could I still grab my gun and defend the house? Like that's what I thought. Because anything short of that, I'm not getting up for, and maybe it's 2 minutes, a minute or two. It doesn't last for a super long time.
It hurts there, And then it seems to go up, like into your back, into your kidneys. It's like transitory pain. It's like the nerves there where you got hit, they can't deal with all the pain, so the pain gets spread around to other.
Like it has to disperse the pain.
That has to disperse.
Or you'll
There's
die.
so much extra pain that your kidneys and everything are.
Oh.
After about a minute, you're good. So.
And you know how it feels, that split second of reprieve.
Yeah.
You know what's coming. You know how it feels.
Unique pain too. It doesn't feel like any other pain. It's a bizarre.
It's not a sharp pain.
It's ball pain. It's the only pain that feels like that. It's not a headache, a stub toe, poked in the eye, all terrible. It doesn't feel like any of that. It's indescribable.
And yeah, you just have to know. That's like the women trying to explain, childbirth pains to us, contractions or something. We just don't know. But here's a fucked up thought that every man has to battle with. You have some of those left in your life. You got some nut shots coming to you. I don't know how many, but you're due. You're going to get one.
And the worst, to add insult to injury, everyone thinks it's funny, by the way. You're taking the knee, taking deep breaths. You're in some of the worst pain you've been in weeks or months, and everyone's stifling their laughter.
Does everybody stand around mom and laugh?
Are you okay?
Does everybody stand around and laugh at a pregnant lady as she's having contractions, or when a woman has cramps and she's on the couch, the kids and the mom? You got period cramps. Are you okay?
Your uterus is contracting. It really hurts. Are you okay?
Yeah, there's no caught on video shows that open with mom laying on the couch with period cramps, but I guarantee you there's one with dad taking a nut shot from a fucking Fisher Price golf set. That's for sure. And everybody laughs. Look at everybody laughing at Emmanuel Macron because his wife fucking gave him the Andre the Giant face mush, and everybody's laughing, myself included. Why is that?
She just gave him the power claw to the
both
face.
hands.
My wife told me that. I don't know anything about the story, but the 1 second clip of she's like shoving him. My wife said there's later footage where a flight attendant is getting off the plane and their sleeve is all ripped off.
Ooh.
So there might be more to the story. I don't know if any of that's true.
Maybe she was sucking his wiener. And she got sick of walking in on somebody sucking his wiener.
New Age Leper, if you're not an author, you should consider being a writer because this metaphor is amazing. It's like whacking your shin on a trailer hitch kind of pain. You can feel that the way he wrote that. You know exactly what that feels. A cold piece of steel right to that part of your shin that has no fat, has about 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters of skin right above the bone.
Bruh.
That's
like
terrible.
it's getting kicked in your nuts. And then the rice paper they use in like samurai dojos and shit. That's the layer between that and hitting your shins on a toe hitch. It's close. The toe hitch is nipping at getting kicked in your balls' heels because let me tell you something. All right. Hitting your shins on it. Like if you hit your shins on a trailer hitch and you had a gun on you, and somebody walked around the corner and said, I'm the reason you hit your shin on that toe hitch. It would take everything in you not to blow that person away because
that
Lord,
hurts just to read that. Shin on a cold steel trailer hitch.
Bruh.
And you don't even see it. You walk right into it.
You're carrying something that's blocking your vision. Full stride. No slow down. Oh, Lord.
I hate video.
Lord in heaven.
You see them on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. The videos of people falling and getting hurt. It's supposed to be comical. But I don't like, there's something about like wet rocks in like a stream or near a pool where someone slips on wet cement or rocks and lands on their butt and their lower back. Oh, that makes me like cringe up. It looks so painful. Looks terrible.
Like Mike Tyson. He was on one of those hoverboards. Dude, that.
He like fractured his part of his back or something doing that.
Dude.
Like he fractured a vertebrae when he fell off the hoverboard.
Dude. But, oh, man, your shin on a toe hitch. Like if somebody could put that in pill form, like the next terrorist they interrogate, if you don't tell me where the cachet is, I'm going to make you swallow this hitting your shin on a toe hitch pill. And you're going to feel it. Okay, brother. Okay. I tell you everything, brother. Or a hangover. They can put a hangover in a pill. Oh, Lord. That's another one.
Think about what you think about. It says, can you break your ding dong? Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Funnily is not a word. Fractured penis is an actual thing that can happen. Yes.
Yes. It happened to Dennis Rodman twice. They used to have the show where celebrities, where celebrities tell crazy party stories like Steve-O from Jackass, Dennis Rodman, the people, what's his name? Tommy Lee. The dudes that were just like rocket ships in the party game. Like they were just burning hot every fucking weekend or every night. Who knows? But Dennis Rodman tells a story about how he's getting ridden. I guess that's right. He's being ridden by a young lady. And his shit went 9 o'clock. And so he went to the hospital and they fixed it. And then not too long after, because, Dennis Rodman is going to Dennis Rodman.
Didn't learn his lesson, huh?
Dude, his shit went 9 o'clock again. And I'm talking, like this.
Ooh.
And so he went there, and I don't know if it was different staff or a different hospital, but he basically walked them through fixing his dick because it was just done not too long ago.
Yikes.
I'm like, dude, we've all been there. But
so he's like the Joker. He's like, you want to know how I got these scars?
Dude, but how hard in the paint are you going for your shit to go 9 o'clock? Woo!
That's just, I don't even want to think about that.
Dennis.
That's so awful. Kicking your little toe on a 25-pound dumbbell. Oh,
That's in third place.
Dude, I shut the bathroom door and somehow had my foot in the wrong place, and the bathroom door peeled my second toe's nail off. Instantly flipped it off my toe.
Let's see.
6 months later, my toenail had grown back, and I stepped outside barefoot on a concrete step and like missed it, and the edge front of my toenail caught the concrete step and ripped it off. After it had just grown back. It's fine now. That was like 10 years ago. You want to talk about pain? I couldn't sleep the night it got ripped off by the door of the bathroom. My foot felt like it was this big. It was just throbbing.
Oh, yeah. Been
The
there.
whole foot just felt like it was throbbing. It was awful.
Can't sleep. And coming around the home stretch, you have kicked in the nuts in first place. And in second place is hitting your shin on a toe hitch. And bringing up the rear in third place, we have hitting your toe on a stationary object.
And coming from the back of the pack, it's ripping your toenail clean off.
Dude. But yeah, stubbing again, full stride, don't see it, no slowdown. Just like you basically kicked it. Like imagine taking your shoe off barefoot and kicking like the corner. Like I hit my pinky toe on the bed or the little wheel on the bottom of the bed on the corner. Yeah, making my bed up late for school one day in high school, coming around the corner, fucking. That'll bring you to your knees. That'll make you look inside and fucking clean your life up. That's the kind of pain that is. Shit.
You're just telling God you're going to change everything if he saves you?
If you take this pain away, I'm yours.
Oh,
yours.
My goodness. Yeah. That's how it feels sometimes.
Oof.
Anyway, Darth Vader chokes the shit out of this guy and kills him. Princess Leia thinks she's going to stand up to these stormtroopers. They stun her with the stun blast. They don't kill her. Darth Vader interrogates her. The droids land. They go down. What a great shot. And guys, this movie's being made in like 1976. That holds up, that image right there. That still looks like, that looks great. Looks fantastic. I like how she's sassy with Darth Vader. She tells him, oh, this is an ambassadorship. We're peaceful. We have no weapons. He's all, you're part of the Rebel Alliance and a spy. Like he just calls her out that she's just a liar. It's wild, though, that she doesn't know that's her dad standing right in front of her.
Yeah, she certainly doesn't act like it. They don't have any rapport.
So they can't find anything on the ship. They can't find the robots. They can't find the rebel plans to where the rebel base is, anything about the Death Star. Excuse me. So, but from one of his henchmen, Darth Vader learns that, hey, there were some escape pods launched down to the surface. We should go check that out. C-3PO and R2-D2, they land in their little escape pod. They just start wandering through the desert down on Tatooine. This was filmed in Tunisia, which is the country right next door to my father's home country of Libya. And in this movie, there's a shot where they're walking and there's a giant dinosaur. It's still there, that thing. It's buried by the sand, but they dug, I guess, some of it up in 2015 when they filmed the newer movies. But they just left it there in the desert. Just left it there.
Fuck it. The 70s are like, all right, we're done. Fuck it. Leave it here.
Yeah, these Tunisians won't care about this giant fake dinosaur.
Yeah, let kids play on it or some shit. But they, I noticed, or I've noticed for a while, C3PO it like goes against how you would naturally say that. Like you would normally say C3PO, but C3PO.
Right.
I always thought that was weird how they
C3PO. Right.
Yeah, how they changed that.
Yeah, it becomes a strange word, or they just call them 3PO sometimes. You know,
but even that would be 3PO, not 3PO.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds different to me.
I don't know. Is he gay or is he uptight, C3PO?
He can't be gay.
I don't know. Could be. There could be.
He doesn't have a sex though. Is he a male?
He looks like a dude. Now
he has a male.
He's based off the female robot android thing from the 1920s movie Metropolis. His design. He looks just like her.
But he has a man's voice, but I don't think he has genitals.
He's like an uptight British guy, right? Over here.
Yeah, but I say, but he doesn't have genitals or a butthole, so I don't think he's a male. I think he just sounds like one. I think if you took his robot underwear off, it would just be a circuit board. I don't think there's anything there.
Think about what you think about. His mom fell and broke her tibia and fibia. That is also known as just your calf. From your knee to your ankle. That's the tibia and the fibia right there. The tibia is the main bone, and the fibia is the one on the outside, the thinner, smaller one at a slight angle. And she broke both. That is terrible.
Damn. No more ice skating here.
Horrible. So they're wandering through the desert. They don't know where to go. They got to find this Luke Skywalker. Oh, they got to find Obi-Wan. They don't even know Luke exists or anything.
And they can't do anything anyway.
They get captured by these little guys, the Jawas. And the Jawas are like
little red eyes. That's
little red-eyed scavenger dudes that just sell junk and sell robots. They drive around in a giant vehicle that's also like their home. And they seem very dishonest, the Jawas. They seem like little,
everybody's dishonest. It just seems like a lawless landscape. Everybody's on the hustle. Everybody's scheming and stealing and robbing and transporting and smuggling. And it seems like, unless you're like on one of these spaceships or something, there's no like structured society where you get up every morning and go to work. Unless you're a bartender or something.
Well, it is. If you think about it, it's a Western, Star Wars. Han Solo is literally dressed like a cowboy. He's got a blaster on his hip and he's wearing a vest. He's a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
You got the cantina, right? That's just out of a Western. So you're right. It is that lawless desert Western cowboy kind of theme going on.
Yeah, whatever happens out here, it's just the way it's how it is.
So R2-D2 and C-3PO, they are captured by the Jawas. They're going to get looked at, buff them out, repair them a little bit, then try and sell them. They go around trying to sell them to different, the folks that live out here, the moisture farmers and all that stuff. The stormtroopers are down there riding giant lizards. This makes no sense because they have spaceships and flying motorcycles and all that, speeder bikes. Why would you ride a dewback is what that is called. It's actually called a dewback.
Looks cool, man.
It does look cool. That is true.
And it's kind of a mix of the old, and this looks like a dinosaur. So it looks like you're mixing the super future with something that's really, really old too.
Right.
Like Batman. Gotham City has that new retro, current day 1940s kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it's like 1940s, but he's got a laptop.
Yeah, it's updated 1940s, I guess. But it seems like sometimes things get so futuristic that they go back to being really old.
Yeah.
Like
retro futuristic.
Yeah.
Right. So Luke, that's a little farm, the moisture farm where he lives with his aunt, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Sounds so weird.
And he's like, "Hey, there's Jawas out there. Let's go make a deal. We need a new need a new R2 unit. That's the little round trash can guy with the wheels. He buys this one, but then its head blows up. He's like, this one's got a bad motivator. What are you trying to pull?" And he starts confronting the Jawas like, "Hey, man, what are you trying to rip me off?" Because he buys C-3PO. But he doesn't buy R2, and R2's all like crying and sad as C-3PO.
It's a package deal.
Right. And then the little red R2, his head blows up. He has a bad motivator. So then he takes the other one. He takes R2. So these two get to stick together. Now, Akira Kurosawa's movie, The Hidden Fortress, inspired this. There were two peasants that help a princess who is hiding her identity from the evil warlords that have taken over things, and a general that is also hiding, General Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia, and they help them get back to their place of power. So the Hidden Fortress has the same overall theme of the original Star Wars in that very general sense. And that is said and admitted by George Lucas. He obviously went to USC Film School and was a huge fan of Kurosawa. And actually the star of Yojimbo and all those great movies we talked about recently, the star of those, Toshiro Mifune, who I freaking love, George Lucas approached him to play Obi-Wan in this. That's how much he loved those movies. He wanted Toshiro Mifune. He offered it to him first. And the rumor goes his people didn't like it because they're like, is this like going to be a corny, like, you know, a flop of a weird, stupid sci-fi movie? So,
fuck that.
So, yeah, Toshiro Mifune as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Then I bet he went in his agent's office after that with like a samurai sword. He's like, and just took him out, dude. You made me skip on Star Wars. Oh my God, man. But everything is, I wouldn't say a copy, but everything is everything because it inspires, like you know, this inspires you to go your path. Maybe something inspired George Lucas to go down his path, and this is what he saw, and these are the things he grew up watching. Like that's how it is.
It's very simple to me, and I think the same goes for George Lucas or anyone doing creatives. You see this stuff and you love it so much, and it makes you feel so much. You're like, I want to do that. I want to make something like this. I don't want to just watch it. I don't want to just consume it and buy it and all that. I also want to do this. That seems like such a satisfying idea, and it turns out it is. You know, I thought I wanted to do it when I was little, and like doing it's like, no, it is really thrilling. You know, I'll share a private moment from me. I don't think this is taking speaking out of school. I talked to Dean because I'm going to see him next week. He's having a movie premiere. So I'm going to see him, and I said, hey, brother, you're on Gutfield. Congrats. And I said, hey, 2 guys I'm working with on comics on the same show tonight, you and Tyrus. And this like just made me in such a great mood. He said, yeah, I talked to Tyrus in the green room. We were talking about you. He is so excited about the comic book, the Tyrus comic book that I'm doing the illustrations for right now. And that's just good to hear that when someone is talking about you, like not behind your back, but when you're not there, that they're saying great things. You know what I mean? Like that just makes any of us feel so good. You know what I mean? So doing this stuff, being inspired by Star Wars, being inspired by comic books, and then getting to do it for a living, it just feels so good to do it, actually, to make this stuff and then watch people enjoy it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's super satisfying. So I think that's why George Lucas and all the greats, they draw from the stuff they loved, because why not? You know? So Luke takes his new robots in. He's getting them cleaned up because they're going to help him do something with the harvest. There's a moisture harvest. They don't explain it. They don't need to, and it would be boring if they did. That's another storytelling tip for any of you out there that want to be writers. Do not explain things you don't need to explain. The readers don't care, and frankly, if you fill it in for them, it's boring. If you let their imagination run with it, it's much more satisfying and fun for them. So don't tell the readers everything. You don't need to. Tell them what they need to know. There was a great writer, I forgot who it was, but he said, take out all the parts people don't read. Right? So there you go. So he's cleaning them up. R2's got some little crusty carbon scoring, is what Luke says. He's trying to clean up, and he picks at something on his face. And when he does, all of a sudden, this message from Princess Leia pops up. And it's funny, in real life, Anthony Daniels, the man who plays C-3PO, you see the little step right behind his little golden boots right there? He's standing on that little curb. And when this video pops out and Luke pulls on the thing, that he falls off. He falls like 3 or 4 inches, but he catches himself. So they didn't take it out of the movie. But he could have eaten shit because he fell off that little edge right there. But I've seen this movie a zillion times. But yeah, so all of a sudden, this beautiful woman in a dress pops out, and it's like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope. You know, it's the message for General Kenobi. And Luke's like, I don't know who that is. I think I've heard that name, but I don't know. It's like a myth, or I don't know who this guy is. And but Luke's like, oh, who is she? She's beautiful. And it's your sister. So cool it. So cool it. So anyway, they turn the message off. That's enough. You work for me now. You're not going looking for any Obi-Wans or Obi-2s or Obi-3s. Nothing like that.
None of it.
Right.
I'm the only Obi for you.
Right. So as much as I don't like Luke, because I think he's whiny, I think it is well written. Whiny, it is realistic of a teenager that wants to have fun. You got to remember, George Lucas grew up in like the Central Valley in California. He grew up like being a teenager in the 50s. And that whole Beach Boys thing about, fun till daddy takes the T-Bird away, and My 409, and the other movie George Lucas made about being a teen in the 50s with American Graffiti, where the Beach Boys had the song My Little Deuce Coupe. And Han Solo was in American Graffiti driving a little Deuce Coupe through downtown, I don't know, Bakersfield or wherever, Modesto or wherever the hell George Lucas is from. And Luke Skywalker's the same way. He's a hot rodder. He's got that little speeder, just like an American kid in California in the 50s. And his uncle's like, I need you to take the droids down to here, and I need you to do this. And then Luke says that line. He's like, oh, but I was going to go to the Tashi station with my friends and pick up power converters. He's talking about doing something for his car. You know, he's like a real teenager, like, because he's supposed to be about 18 or so. And he wants to go to the academy and become a pilot and actually join the Empire and all that, not the Rebel Alliance. And because the Empire, as evil as they are the legitimate government. They are the actual legal government. So people join them and join their military and all that. And his uncle's like, I need you to stay on one more season with me. You got to do one more season of farming. And he's like, So you see this tension at home. He doesn't want to be there. His uncle's like, we need you to stay here before you go off to the academy. So he has that inner turmoil in him where he's got to be loyal to this man who raised him, since he was not orphaned, but, kind of given away. And, be loyal to this guy. And he doesn't like it, but he's going to do it. So Grant Rasha says Luke had no friends. Not true. He has his friend Biggs. And then Biggs ends up being a pilot in the finale of this movie. Biggs is one of the X-Wing pilots. So, and his name is Biggs Darklighter. His name is Biggs Darklighter. Did you know that?
I didn't, but I do know.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. And Brian Knapp points out that George Lucas made his riches on the licensing of this, because a lot of the studios, they didn't believe in the movie. Like, I think he took it around like Disney and Paramount and different places. And they're like, no, this is not going to work. And Fox gave him a deal, but like, we're only going to pay you a little bit. And he's like, okay, fine, but I get the toys and the fruit roll-ups and the lunch boxes and all that. And turned out they shouldn't have given him that deal.
Whoops.
Because those toys sold well for the better part of like 35 years. Like,
Yeah,
they
but
still
they would've
sell Star Wars action figures at the store. They still sell them to this day.
But they would have been way better off cutting him a check in the beginning, whatever tens of millions that he needed, because that would have been way cheaper. And then they take the licensing, but they fucked up.
Right.
You fucked up.
Another Meister says, I'd be friends with the Sand People. As a Libyan man, I take offense to that term, Sand People.
Not cool. Not cool.
Don't you ever call me a sand person again.
Not cool.
Anyway, Luke heads back to his room. R2-D2 has vanished. The little bugger's like, you know what? I don't have to listen to anyone. I'm going to go look for Obi-Wan by myself. They find him wandering in the middle of nowhere because Luke doesn't want to get in trouble. His uncle just paid for these 2 robots, androids. And so he catches up to him. They find him. They use some sensors or binoculars. I don't know. They find R2-D2. He's like, okay, let's go home. But suddenly, and they're like looking around, and there's a bantha. It's the size of an elephant. It's right there. It's hairy. It's got horns. And they're just, oh, they're sand people. These are like these violent nomads or whatever. And suddenly the sand people pop up and beat the tar out of Luke, and they start stealing from his little speeder.
They sure did.
And out comes Obi-Wan. He scares off the sand people, and he helps Luke Skywalker. And they also broke one of C-3PO's legs. I think they broke it off, right? So, yeah. So then now he meets Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Luke says, oh, this little robot brought me out here, stranger. Like, he was looking for some guy named Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he's like, now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Mm-hmm. And it's basically like, well, who is he? He's like, he's me. And it's funny. In the second movie, Yoda does the same thing. Luke goes to the swamp planet of Dagobah, and he's like talking to the little green guy. And he's like, I want to meet Yoda. I want to meet Master Yoda. He's like, oh, you'll meet him later. Meet him later, you will. And he's like making him soup, and they're talking, and they're hanging out. And finally, he's like, hey, I'm Yoda. So they kind of use the same trick there, 2 movies in a row. Interesting. So,
but it was pretty cool, the reveal. And he goes, well, no, he's certainly not dead. He goes, how do you know? Because it's me. That was pretty cool.
Did it a little like Sean Connery. Can you imagine if Sean Connery was Obi-Wan instead?
Hey, I mean, this movie, great casting and everything, but Sean Connery would always make it better.
Because it's me, of course.
Yeah, of course, he's not dead. How do you know?
Use the Force. It'd be the Force with an H on it, too.
Yeah, you're welcome for getting rid of all this danger.
All these sand people.
May the Force be with you, my son.
So then Obi-Wan takes him back to his hut wherever he lives, and then starts to talk to him about his father, Anakin Skywalker, the greatest pilot in the Empire. And they used to fight. They fought together in the Clone Wars, which they ended up making a movie called The Clone Wars that explained that shit, like in 2002 or something like that. And he tells him about Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, but he never tells Luke that's the same guy. He just tells Luke Darth Vader killed Anakin. In a roundabout way, he did. Anakin becomes Darth Vader. So and he's like, here's your father's weapon from a much more elegant time.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So then they play the little video for Obi-Wan and let him know that he is needed to help the rebels. And Princess Leia is captured, and Luke, and this is that thing in the classic Hollywood 3-act story of the call to adventure, the inciting incident. This is a thing that changes the Moisture Farm boy's life. Does he choose to go on to the adventure? So he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. And here's one of your favorite scenes, right? So we cut to Darth Vader, and they're talking about what has happened, what we need to do with the rebels. And what does the guy tell him? Like, your sad devotion to that ancient religion has failed to produce any results of where the rebel base is or blah, blah, blah. He just shit talking Darth Vader.
To Darth Vader. Come on.
Just trashing Darth Vader to his face, dude. You and that stupid fucking helmet. Who the hell wears a cape? I mean, what are you in the opera with you the Phantom of the Opera with this stupid cape?
Yeah, the Phantom would choke your ass out.
I find
sure
your
did.
lack of faith disturbing.
He's like, you little shit, come here. Come here. No, move. And if that guy didn't tell him, hey, let him go, he would have fucking choked his ass all the way to death, because you don't talk to Darth Vader like that.
Right.
Bitch.
Right. So he almost kills this guy, but then Grand Moff Tarkin, who's the big boss of the Death Star, he's in charge of that space station. Enough. He tells him to stop choking this guy. But message sent.
Let him go.
How would this guy, Jericho, how would this guy act the next time he sees Darth Vader in the hall? Like, just...
You know what he'd do? He would see Darth Vader coming down the hall, and the only thing he would say is, that's what he would say. Change your underwear.
He would just duke his pants when he sees
Change your shorts. And the whole time he's walking by. The whole time, because you don't do that. Are you stupid? Or are you stupid?
Yeah.
So he won't do
maybe
that
he
shit.
Didn't know. Maybe he didn't know who Darth Vader was when he was just.
Everybody knows. He didn't see Darth Vader walk through that smoke and go through that hole that they fucking torched in the side of that wall. He knew. You dumbass.
Are Jedi's priests or monks? They're samurais. Remember, this movie's heavily influenced by the movie we watched last month, Yojimbo, Senjuro, The Hidden Fortress, The Seven Samurai, all those Toshiro Mifune and Akira Kurosawa movies. George Lucas says he was heavily inspired by all that. And if you notice the way the Jedi's dressed, they're wearing like sort of like samurai robes. So they're supposed to be like samurais, basically. But they have mystical powers with the Force.
They're punks. They're priests and monks.
Anyway, Luke's going to go back home. He's not going to go save the princess and do all this shit. He has to work for his uncle. He has to do all this other stuff. When they're out cruising around on the way, they run into the Jawa's big old fortress army tank thing that they have all the robots in, where they sell them out of. It's like their mobile home, but it's like, 80 feet tall. This thing, it's huge. It's called the Sandcrawler. And they're like, oh, there's blast marks here, and there's stormtrooper footprints everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And then Luke Skywalker has this chilling realization. He goes, oh my God, if they, looked at these Jawas and what they did, that would lead them back home. Like, he realizes, oh God, they're going to wonder who they sold these robots that they're looking for to. And then maybe they tortured the Jawas. Like, where did you sell these? Who'd you sell them to? He goes back home, and this is brutal. This is what is left of his poor Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. So.
Yeah, they damn. I saw that. I said that. I was like, damn, what they do to them? I mean, they're to the bone. Golly.
Yeah,
okay.
they got BBQ'd. So now the choice is made for Luke. Of course, he's going to go with Obi-Wan and look for this princess and join the adventure, because what does he have now? His family's killed.
Yeah, he tells him that. He's like, I don't have anything here. I'm going with you.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
So we cut back to the Death Star. They got Princess Leia. You're going to tell us everything we want to know, or this flying disco ball is going to torture you. And I always thought it was kind of scary, because the music really ratchets up and it gets closer and closer and closer. And it has like a hypodermic needle sticking out of it and all kinds of little sharp and pinchy little things on there. Mm-hmm. Not great, that thing. Looks like it can really torture the shit out of you. So None the Miser says the Aunt Beru action figure. I've heard of that. Hold on. Is that a real thing?
The Aunt Beru action figure? I hope not.
Look at this. I think someone made these as a gag.
I hope not.
They're just burnt skeletons.
That's fucked up.
The one on the left says Uncle Owen, and then in quotes it says burned, and on the right it says Aunt Beru burned.
Damn. I thought it was gonna be like before that.
No, that's the real Aunt Beru figure there.
Yeah, but the other one's way funnier.
But these are the fake ones here.
The other one's way funnier.
Yeah, that's not great. Not great.
Damn. Crisp.
Yes, Luke has nothing left, so they head to Mos Eisley. Never will you find a bigger hive of scum and villainy, and it's a big city in this horrible desert where like there's just like nobody living. It's very sparse. There is one big city, just like in a Western, and it's got, I'm sure it has crime and cantinas and whorehouses and gambling houses and all the stuff. They don't. Thankfully, the Star Wars movies really never delve into sex because why would you? This is for kids. It's for people of all ages. But come on.
It's a wild place.
And they got to find a ship that can get them off the planet because they don't own a spaceship. Obi-Wan and Luke, they don't have a spaceship. So, and this is a part that is iconic that everybody loves. The stormtroopers are crawling all over the region. They're looking for these droids, and so they stop their car. They're stopping everyone. They're kind of like, "Papers, please." They're stopping everyone. Papers. And they ask, like, "Hey, you've got two robots. Are these the ones we're looking for?" And Obi-Wan uses the Force on these feeble-minded stormtrooper, says, "These are not the
that's hella funny."
And he just waves his hand, and he's like, "These are not the droids we're looking for." And then he's like, "Move along," and the guy's like, "Move along." I love that.
Move along.
And as a married man, this actually works on your wife.
Try it.
Yeah, no, it does. Think about what you think about it. Try it on your wife. It works great.
Hit pause on this. Right. On this. Go try it and come back and tell us in the comments.
Yeah,
how it happened. Tell us whether or not you have a ribeye steak over your left eye.
So they go into a bar. They're going to try and find someone in this scummy, underworldy kind of place. Someone can get them off this planet safely without the Empire noticing. And they'll be able to get on their mission to save Princess Leia and stop the bad guys from blowing up the Rebel base, finding it and blowing it up, and find a way to destroy the Death Star. So then Luke runs into this guy with a pig nose and another guy with a butt face. The guy with the butt face is Panda Baba. That's his actual name. And he's like, "I don't like you. He doesn't like you either." And they're just messing with Luke. Like, it's just a kid walks into this bar. And they try to kill him. And Obi-Wan chops
they got serious real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Chops that dude's arm clean off. So just shows you.
It's just laying on the ground. I was like, damn, that was cold.
Yeah. Shows you he's a badass.
Don't fuck around.
So then we meet the great Han Solo and Chewbacca. And he's a little doubtful, a little unsure. Okay, how much money? You want to go where? You want to do what? And they got to get to Alderaan. Alderaan is the planet where Princess Leia is from. She's the princess of Alderaan. And they got to take the Death Star planet to Alderaan because that is one of the major hubs of the rebellion. So they got to get there. And they said, "I'll get you to Alderaan for X amount of dollars. We don't have that much. We'll give you half now, half later. We get there, blah, blah, blah." They're just negotiating. And after that little bit, Han Solo runs into Greedo. Greedo is a Rhodian. That's the type of alien that he is. And he confronts Han Solo and says, "Jabba the Hutt, who we see in the third movie, is looking for you. You owe him a lot of money. You wasted his drugs that he was having you smuggle. You dumped them in space, blah, blah, blah." And in the original cut from 1977, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo unbuckles his gun on his belt and shoots Greedo under the table and kills him because Greedo's pointing a gun in his face. Mm-hmm. In the weak-ass 1997 version, they do a horrible animation where Greedo fires a laser bolt. Han Solo's head, like Super Nintendo graphics, moves to the side, dodges the bolt, and then he shoots the guy, thus justifying his shot. It's really dumb. It's really dumb.
Yeah, just have him blast the guy first. That would show that he's a badass. Like, he's quick on the draw. Some Doc Holliday shit.
Mike has bad knees. I just tried Jedi Mind Trick my wife. I'm actually Michael B. Jordan, but it didn't work.
Damn.
Okay. Well, he tried at least. Don't try and trick her that you're P. Diddy or anyone like that.
Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah.
All right. You weren't Michael B. Jordan this time. Try again.
I'm not following it all, but I guess that P. Diddy case is going on right now. There's all kinds of testifying. Are you following it all, Jericho? Because I know you kind of follow like weird news like that sometimes.
Yeah, it comes up on the feed type stuff, but I'm not like, invested in it at all with time or anything. But it looks like the case might fall apart because all they've been saying so far is that he's a freak. All right, that's strange to us, weird to us, but nothing illegal yet. He was a dick. He was a little tyrannical. Just see the
prosecutor. Now, is it true that you like to come out at night, Mr. Diddy? So, well, yeah. And it is also true that the freaks come out at night.
So, yeah, he's definitely one. He's a freak. Okay. And there's some gross shit that's been coming out. But really, the worst person in this so far is Cassie because she was married through all this stuff. I have no idea
who that is.
That's the girl at the center of all this. That's the girl in the video that he threw on the ground and kicked her and shit. She's at the center of all this. So the whole time she's going to these freak offs, getting her back blown out by escorts and all this weird shit, she's married. So she's the biggest piece of shit so far. So far, there's nothing illegal, just accusations and people testifying to the weird shit that he did to them as consenting adults.
So far, it's just total perv stuff.
Yeah, they're all consenting adults. So, yeah, you guys are weirdos, but fortunately, it's not illegal to be a weirdo in the privacy of your own home.
Is that thing with him and that one rapper real where that guy recorded? I don't want to say too much. He recorded the audio.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, no, there's no proof of that, but in the world of law enforcement, you would call that circumstantial evidence.
Right.
But it's not a smoking gun, but
smoking buns.
Yeah, it's a smoking stinker, that's for sure. But you're not 100%, but you're about 90%.
Yeah. All I'm saying is P. Diddy would fit in at the scummy people in this bar, all these criminals.
Oh yeah, scumbag, bad businessman. As far as the way he treats people, tyrannical, asshole, weirdo. Yes, but none of those are illegal.
I do think in allegedly YouTube. I have no proof. I'm just speculating. I do think there's tons of crime in this situation, and since they are rich and powerful, and it would hurt the wrong people in power. It's all going to get swept under the rug, and there'll be some fall guys and fall gals that'll take the full brunt. That's
that you've never heard of. It'll be like his driver.
Right. It'll be like fucking DoorDash delivery guy will take the entire fall,
Give a fuck. I don't care about those guys.
Yeah.
Show me some names.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give us some B-listers.
Yeah.
They'll throw us some kind of red meat. We'll see.
So in the original cut of the movie, Han Solo is confronted by Jabba the Hutt before he gets on the Millennium Falcon with his friends, but it was a man dressed up in like furs and leathers and stuff, and that was Jabba the Hutt. And then they didn't put that in the movie. No one ever saw that. That was cut from the release in 1977. It was never on the VHS cassettes in the 80s and the early 90s. In the 1997 edition, they add it back in, but they cover the guy in the furs and leathers in this horrible PlayStation 1 graphics version of Jabba the Hutt. It's horrible.
Yeah, this is not cool.
And it's so bad because in the original footage, he walks in a circle around the guy while he's talking to him. Well, how are you going to walk around someone with a 10-foot long tail? So what they do is they have the Han Solo guy walk around, and when he gets over the tail, is you see him go up and over, like he steps all over the guy's tail. But weird. It's like they grabbed him in Photoshop and just kind of drug him over. It looks so bad.
Yeah. Hold on one
second. They did not have the technology to do what they wanted to do with these movies when they messed with them in 1997. It's terrible. So the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, they show up at the Millennium Falcon. They see it, and Luke's like, what a hunk of junk. And Han Solo's, what does he say? It may not look like much, kid, but she's got it where it counts. It's the fastest ship in the galaxy, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to get on board. This little jerk outside is a spy. He saw them going up there, so he tells the stormtroopers. So as they're leaving, they get in a small shootout, but they're able to fly away safely. And, of course, they jump to light speed. They jump to hyperspace, and they get away. So, and they fly right past some Star Destroyers that were kind of orbiting the planet, and they do good. They jump into the light speed. I always thought that was so cool. Did you think this was cool or lame as a kid, the whole hyperspace light speed thing? I thought it was awesome.
No, I thought that was cool. It still looks cool now. They do it in movies now. It still looks cool.
Right. I remember as a kid, when I would fly on an airplane, I watched the TV show Battlestar Galactica. And when they would launch the fighter ships out of the mothership, they would like their heads would go back in their seat. So when I was in an airplane, it was barreling down the runway, getting ready to take off. Right when it hit that fast moment, me and my brother would throw our heads back in the seats. And I was trying to show my wife that on the way home from Mexico. And we were on the plane. It was about to take off. And I threw my head back. Oh, me and my brother used to do this. We were little. When I did it, my glasses flew off behind me and into the person sitting behind me. So that was an awesome moment. I threw my glasses on someone else on the plane. So, yeah, we should do Spaceballs eventually because we're doing Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that'd be hilarious. May the Schwartz be with you.
You guys find it? We ain't found shit.
We ain't found shit. Comb the desert. They're using a pick. He said, "We ain't found shit." Great movie. I'm down for that whenever.
So the bad guys are here. They're talking shit to Princess Leia. You're going to tell us what we want to know. You and your stupid rebellion will never defeat us. And they have this new toy, this Death Star, and it's got the crazy cannon on it that can allegedly blow a lot of stuff up.
That's right. A whole planet.
Right. So they tell Princess Leia that's what they're going to do, and she can't believe it. And they do it. Boom.
It was messed up. That shit was messed up, man.
This is what Disney did to the Star Wars franchise, right?
Because he said that he wasn't going to.
Right.
And then when he got the information, he was like, all right, do it anyway. She's like, what the fuck?
When ready. Right.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Asshole.
So there you go. So they're flying through space. They're on the way to that planet that just got blown to smithereens. And you see Obi-Wan there on the right. He's like, oh. You know, he looks like he got the piss shivers. He has to sit suddenly.
Yeah.
And he said it was like millions of voices just cried out in pain or in terror or something like that.
And then they went silent.
Right.
Like,
and he felt that. He felt all the people on the other end.
Disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
In the Schwartz.
Right.
There was a disturbance in the Schwartz.
And then Han Solo's like, the force. It's like, I've been from one side of this galaxy to the other, and I've seen a lot of things, but
I've seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Right. To say there's one force that binds this all together and blah, 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 like, I don't buy it. So he's not a believer at all. He doesn't believe in the force.
Not at all. Makes it well known.
He believes in that giant dog sidekick of his and his trusty blaster.
He basically said everything short of, man, it's bullshit. I think it's all bullshit. It's basically what he said. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So then just as a little FU to Han Solo, they put on this blast shield helmet, what you can't see out of. And they have a little flying drone that shoots lasers. And Obi-Wan tells Luke to use the force to block the lasers. He can't kind of do it, and then he does it really well. So it's like, eat that, Han Solo.
But then Han Solo even says, I say that's luck.
Right.
So it's different, doing it in here, like, with a helmet blocking your eyes versus in a real battle scenario. So even then, even after he saw it, he still said, yeah, but it's different. And it is, right. But he's still being a little hater.
Yeah. I don't know about all this space wizard stuff. So the good guys, they see a ship. They get into a shootout with some TIE fighters, I believe, and then they track one, and they go, oh, it's headed towards that small moon, and they're like, that's not a moon, that's a battle station. Yeah.
Well, he said it's too. What he said, it's too big to be a battle station or something like that.
Right.
And you're like, oh, right. No. It is. Whoops.
Right. And there's a technological thing here that I loved as a little kid, the concept of the tractor beam. The tractor beam can grab you through electromagnetic force or something and pull your ship in. I don't know why, but I loved that as a kid. When you're a little kid, certain things just do it for you, like dinosaurs or lava or quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I thought quicksand was around every corner as a kid.
You thought when you grew up you'd have to be constantly dodging quicksand?
Yeah, some real shit, dude. Quicksand. It seemed like it was everywhere. It probably wasn't. But it seems like the shit, like in TV and stuff like that, somebody was always dealing with some fucking quicksand and it never went well. So, yeah.
Anyway, they get sucked in. But the bad guys are inept. Like, the bad guys are morons. And they go search the ship. But Han has these like plates in the floor where he smuggles all the weapons and drugs. Everything he does is like a pirate or whatever he is. And they hide in there. And the bad guys go in there to search and they don't find anything, but then they get the jump on them. They don't show it. You just hear like, and then some stormtroopers come out of the Millennium Falcon, but it's really Han Solo and Luke dressed as stormtroopers.
Gotcha.
And they put Chewbacca in handcuffs. They're like, oh, we're going to take him to the detention center. We got this stupid Wookiee, and he's under arrest. So I love that. I love the concept of the good guys dressing up like the bad guys to get in there. You have that going back all the way at least to the Wizard of Oz. Remember when the Scarecrow and the Tin Man, they dress up like those guards?
Yeah, outside the witch's castle.
Those guys. Right.
Yeah, they saw the flying monkeys.
Right. Here's the quote. Here's the quote from the little blinded sword fight. He said, good against remotes is one thing. Good against a living, that's something else.
Yeah.
You know.
Still shit on it.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, but still. So anyway, I love the concept of being dressed up in the bad guys stuff and sneaking through. And in Empyrean, my sci-fi comic book that is at the printer right now, which you're going to be able to crowdfund very soon, we have a scene like this where the good guy goes into a secure facility and beats up some bad guys and dresses up as them to do some stuff. And you're going to love it. It's very tense. It's very, is he going to get caught or not? It's really fun. And I was inspired by this and by a Hitchcock movie I saw called The Rope. That's what it was. The Hitchcock movie that inspired me the most to write that scene. Mm-hmm. In The Rope, two like psychotic college students, there's going to be a party to honor their friend. This is a movie from like the 40s or the early 50s. They murder their friend and stick him in like this cabinet that's in the living room of his apartment. And his mom and dad, his girlfriend, and some other friends are all coming over because he got some new job or he's graduating, or they're going to honor him that night. And they choke him to death with a rope, stick him in the cabinet, and then put the big tablecloth and all the food and drink on that cabinet. So everyone, mom, dad, friends, they're all eating the food and drinking and talking and interacting like, where is Charlie? Or whatever the guy's name is. And they're 3 inches away from him in this cabinet where his dead body is. And I thought the tension of that was so crazy. And that inspired me to write the scene where one of the characters dresses up and gets face to face with one of the bad guys. And you'll see if they get caught or not. It's a really fun scene. And I love that kind of tension. I think that kind of suspense is really fun.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. So the good guys get into this computer information room or whatever. They look up some stuff. R2-D2 sticks his little probe into the drive, and they find out, okay, we got Princess Leia. She's on detention level 10 or whatever. They find her location. They find some power stuff where they can shut down some power in the Death Star to turn off the force field so the Millennium Falcon can leave, because the force field has to be down, or else the ship won't be able to leave the Death Star. And Han Solo's like, this is bullshit. I don't want to do this. The stupid princess. But Luke convinces him by saying she's rich. Like, how rich? Like more money than you could ever spend, than you could ever imagine. You know, so, and I think Han Solo has a great character arc in this movie because he's like a smuggler, criminal, this, that, and the other, only loves money. And by the end of the movie, he's one of the great heroes. And he realizes, hey, I can't just be selfish all the time. That's terrible. You know, so yeah, I love what happens with Han Solo's character in this movie. So, I thought this was great too. So they go to the detention center, and they kind of fudge their way in there. We got this Wookiee in handcuffs. We're gonna put him in a cell, and then they take these guys out, and they open up Princess Leia's cell. But now they've set off a bunch of alarms because they've shot a bunch of stuff up. And other people are calling from other departments like, hey, what's going on in there? The alarms went off. We're coming up to see. And like, oh, we don't need help. Don't worry. But the bad guys are on their way. And here's Princess Leia looking like a bit of all right.
Yeah, you know, it's all right. Wouldn't get kicked out of the dead for eating crackers. But he did the classic, hey, no, we're good. You know, like he totally could have been more smooth than that.
Right,
and the guy was like, hey, what's your number? What's your identification number? And he just shoots the machine, and he's like, hey, we got to get the fuck out of here.
It's the most boring conversation I've had anyway. Look, we're going to have company.
Yeah, they're coming. Get the fuck out of here. Find that cell and get.
I like how she's a jerk anyway. Like, you see how Luke's short there? He's the short stormtrooper.
Yeah, she even tells him that.
Right, when the cell door opens to her prison cell, she's like, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? She just
she knew. She's like, hey, aren't you a little undersized there? Fucking
aren't you a teeny weeny kind of guy or something?
Yeah, aren't you a little small there, buddy? Oh, and the rest of your body too. Yeah, she fucking shot him down immediately. Even though he wasn't trying, she just fucking hit him in the nuts.
Even though he's a brother, so it shouldn't matter. So.
Fucked up.
This is such a fun, exciting scene. There's a shootout in the prison area. They can't go back the way they came in. They can't go the other way. They are pinned down in the prison block. Their stormtroopers are shooting at them. And you got a great scene here before girl power ruined everything, where they kind of don't know what to do. And Princess Leia grabs the blaster rifle from Luke and shoots the wall across the hallway.
Yeah.
And opens a hole in the wall for them to escape. And they even change the music. They add some like flutes or triangles. They make the music. It's the same theme that's going, but they lighten it when she takes over the action for a second there. And it works. It works because it's not woke. It's not the whole movie saying men are fools and women are better than men. But it's a fun moment where they reverse it for just a second.
Yeah, she's like, give me that shit, Junior.
Right.
Give me that. I'll get us. I'll blast this out of here.
Right. So Obi-Wan Kenobi's on his own mission to find these big power levers to turn off the force field by turning off the generator or something. C-3PO and R2-D2 are just wandering around the Death Star playing cool because they're robots, so they fit in. I just love so much of the snappy dialogue in this movie. When Princess Leia blasts that hole in the wall, it's leading to a trash compactor. So that's going to be everything filthy, food. It's going to stink. And when they're jumping down the trash chute here, Chewbacca turns to Han Solo. He's like, I'm not going down there. But he's like, brr, 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 brr. And I love Han Solo's line. He's like, I don't care what you smell. Get in there.
Get your ass in there. So will somebody get this, what did she say, this walking carpet out of my way?
Right, right.
I was like, what a dick. That's
Right,
Chewie you're
she
talking
says
to there, lady.
Yeah. So, yeah, they end up in the trash compactor. Luke gets kidnapped by some big, horrible worm thing and sucked underwater and almost killed. They end up defeating that. And then when they think they're going to do fine, the trash compactor turns on. It is the world's slowest trash compactor. It's going to take a few minutes to crush all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
Right.
a lot in there.
But they're screaming. They're terrified. They're going to die. And Luke is yelling into this little walkie-talkie, tiny little communicator thing to C-3PO, the thing C-3PO is holding in his hand there. Like, you need to turn off the trash compactors. And he's like, which one? Because there's a zillion.
Yeah.
And R2
Figure it out, please.
Right. And again, it's a fun scene. It gives you a nice fake out. A fake out is always fun as a writer because you hear all this screaming, but really it's cheering because Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke, they're happy that the trash compactor didn't finish them off. But C-3PO was like, damn it, we failed. They're being crushed alive because he hears all the screaming and cheering and he thinks it's screaming in pain and death. You know, so. Right. So Obi-Wan Kenobi gets to this weird generator place, turns off the power. In the original versions, there was writing on the control center in English. And I think when they changed it in 1997, they wrote it in that Star Wars. Oh, do you know the name of the Star Wars font, Jericho?
I don't.
It's Arabic.
Oh, of course.
It's a font they always use in Star Wars movies.
Of course.
Yeah. I proposed to my wife in Arabic.
That's why she said yes.
No. She said no.
Whoops. Yeah, you can't blame her. That's like that would be like when you see chicks proposing to guys. I'm like, that's the most
what
cringe.
Would you do? What would you do, Jericho? You're not married. You're dating your wife. You do love her. You're thinking about marrying her, but you're not ready yet. But you are thinking about marrying her. You can see a future. You plan on doing it within the next year or so, but not just yet.
Yeah.
And then she gets on a knee at SeaWorld in front of everyone, dude.
At a restaurant in front of
Making
every
you
family.
look like a bitch.
Dude. I mean, I guess you got to say yes to save face.
Would you jump? Wait. Would you jump and wrap your legs around her waist and hold on to her afterwards?
How else would I show all my excitement? Holy shit, man. That would be... I mean, I guess, but you'd have to say yes, just not to fucking be an asshole,
right.
I guess. And then as soon as you're together alone, are you out of your fucking mind? The fuck is wrong with you? That's so weird, dude. If he ain't proposing to you, you're not getting proposed to. And that's that. Right. Don't you ever get on one knee.
I've heard this more than once in my life. A woman is dating a guy for a while. I don't know why guys date women for 6, 7, 8 years. Like, would you just marry her or leave her alone? But I'll hear of women that are dating guys for years on end, and they're like, I gave him an ultimatum. He's got to propose to me within the next 6 months. Like, you don't want that. You don't want to force a man to ask you to marry him.
Hell no. Hell no. If he's not doing it, it ain't gonna get done.
Right.
That's
right. You can't put a deadline on it. That's real weird.
4 years. If your man doesn't propose in 4 years, move on. That's that.
Right. I mean, you think of a woman's fertility and the ability to easily have healthy children. Like, what kind of guy's dating a woman 7, 8, 9 years? What are you just wasting all her time, dude?
Fucking around because he got the milk for free without getting the cow.
Right.
That's
This
her
is
fault.
something modern women can take a lesson from the older generations of women. You could leverage, ladies. I don't know if you know this. You can sex. You can.
Dude,
When you
I don't
give
get
something away, cheap and
get it.
easy, you're not going to get much for it. So, and you have to understand this about men. See, women think they understand men. They don't understand the male sex drive. They really don't. They don't get it. It's so easy to understand, and they don't get it because it's not like them. A man's standard for what he needs to relieve himself is about the same standard of what a dog would eat in an alley.
Hello.
We don't have standards. We'd like to. We would like to
sound
have
good on
standards. It
paper.
sounds great. We would love for it to be Cindy Crawford.
Sounds great on paper.
I would love to eat at Mille Fleurs. It's a snobby French restaurant in Del Mar, California. You're going to spend $300, $400, $500 on dinner. I would love to eat at Mille Fleurs, but I will eat the $5 value meal at McDonald's if that's what there is. And I will lick my fingers after the chicken nuggets.
I'll enjoy it. No, but not only will you eat it, it's not like you're like, ugh. It's not like your former mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, when he was offering free burgers and fries if you got the poke, and you watch him choke down that peasant food. But you would enjoy it. You would enjoy that McDonald's meal. You would
Fresh
just eat it.
McDonald's fries, like you had to wait.
Come
You had to
on.
drive to the second window for them to make your fries. And they come
Everything's
out
hot.
piping hot and salty. I'm eating that. And I'll eat at Fleming's Steakhouse.
Do both. I'll eat the McDonald's and then go to the other place and take a shit while I'm waiting for my food. You kidding me? To make room.
I will eat this Randy Macho Man Savage beef stick from 7-Eleven, or I'll eat at a French gourmet restaurant for a $150 steak.
You
Either
guys
way.
just don't know. You don't know. If men, I talked about this in a video today. If, let's say you put a wall down the middle of the country, and on one side it was all women, and on the other side it was all men.
Uh-oh.
How quickly, we would just devolve back into grunting, and we would just eat whatever. It wouldn't matter. There would be no more nice restaurants. There's no need for them. But also, we have all of the infrastructure and the maintenance. All of our shit would be awesome. Sewage, electricity, infrastructure.
Pickle jars just open like that.
Spiders dead everywhere. And we're just, the women are listening at the wall, and it's like a hall where, Viking warriors just came back from a successful battle, and they're singing 500-year-old victory songs and clinking steins, yo ho, and they'd be cold and dark with, wolves and bears figuring out that there's no more men creeping slowly back into suburbia. But if left to our own devices, you would be horrified by what we could survive on.
Right. All the niceness, all the bathing and brushing of teeth, that's for you, ladies.
That's for you.
We do it for you. All the picking up trash instead of leaving it.
You fucking
man. Dropping it where I found it.
And we could go nice. There are great male chefs in the world. We can
the
go
best
fancy
chefs in the world are men. The
for
Michelin
sure.
stars. Yeah.
But if we had to, hey, don't. Like my dad would say, whatever makes a turd. And that's that.
Look at this. Snap into a filet mignon.
Eat me. Sure the fuck would with a little.
Eating chicken nuggets right now. What sauce do you pick at McDonald's? I like to get the hot, the spicy mustard.
Yeah, if you're a fucking communist, there's only one sauce to get for a McDonald's chicken nuggets. It's barbecue.
It's
what
good.
The fuck? What else is there?
You gotta change it up. I've been having barbecue for 40 years since I was a kid with the McNuggets.
McDonald's is not a place to get all fucking international and fancy smancy. Oh, I get the honey mustard.
Not
the sweet and sour.
Not honey mustard, the hot mustard.
What the fuck ever? It's McDonald's chicken nuggets. Dip that shit in some barbecue sauce and move on. Try to get all fancy and hoity-toity with some fucking shit fast food.
I had In-N-Out last week, and it was so good.
Right?
I fixed my In-N-Out because I eat it there. it's no good when I take it home, and I didn't realize that for like a decade. I kept being disappointed by In-N-Out, and now I eat it. Like I go through the drive-thru and then just park in front of their place and then just eat it in the car with my wife. It was so good. Oh, this really is the best hamburger in the world, and it's not close.
Not even. Yeah, that's definitely a few steps above.
Corey Jacobs has a lot of insight here. He says, we all got poop in our butts.
Yeah.
Some truth to that. Some real truth to that.
That's all truth. That's all truth all the time. But
anyways, they get out of the trash compactor. They start walking down the hall. They got to get back to the ship. But, you know, Darth Vader, bad guys are lurking everywhere. You got some funny face-offs here where Han Solo chases an entire pack of bad guys down the hall. I don't know why they all turn and run because he's screaming like crazy. But then he comes running back a second later. It's really just a comedy bit. Fun action adventure stuff. Luke with like the grappling hook, swinging over this bottomless. Why the hell is the Death Star so dangerously designed?
Still one false
step.
You know what?
We're going to build a door. We're going to build a door. Now, Jericho, hear me out. I know we've designed a lot of battle stations, you and I. We've been designing battle stations for Darth Vader for years. What if we had a door, and then when you went through it, there was a bottomless pit? I mean, not bottomless, but it might as well. It was like 700 feet to your doom. And then had a little bridge that you push a button to extend it. That way, if anyone was in a rush, they might just open the door and fall to their death. What do you think? Yay or nay? What are you feeling on this one?
I think yay, because
that's what I said.
Because nobody deserves to fall to their death like that. Like, what if you're just taking supplies from one place to another, or someone pages you somewhere, and you got to take the chance of falling 6,000 feet into the abyss? Who designed this?
Yeah. Why? What function would this bottomless pit hallway serve?
Other than to kill people.
What could it possibly be for?
Murder. That's it. Why would you do that? That's like somebody with no kids designing a playground.
Even if they needed this void, this shaft,
what's it for?
They would build a bridge that was encased like a tube bridge with walls.
Exactly. So both can exist at the same time without death. Right. How many people they lost there? How many guys on their first day fall down there because they don't know that 18 inches from this doorway is impending doom?
And there's no guardrail. Like you come through, there's no little fence that's up until the bridge extends.
Dude, and that would make it even worse.
Okay.
Because then they could if they hit it, they like flip over.
None brings up a great point though.
Please.
Lifestar just doesn't have the same villain's Ridgewood. My new battle station, the Lifestar.
Welcome to Lifestar. Is that like a new helicopter that gets people to the hospital quick?
Lifestar.
Fly today.
Yeah, Lifestar's no good. Death Star, you're right. The Death Star should be dangerous.
Call it what you want. Okay. Death Star. But just build a bridge.
This is so unnecessary.
Right there.
It's
you can have your Death Star, but come on, let's keep the crew alive. Is that too much?
Can you imagine, like, you get blown up by the rebels, you get killed by, Luke Skywalker blows up Death Star, and you were just a fucking cook. You weren't even like a true bad guy.
Yeah.
You were a janitor on the Death Star.
You graduated culinary school, and this is your first job.
Right. You didn't want to take the job, but it had good benefits, good health insurance, had good bennies.
Great benefits. That's what got you.
Right. It had
dental, vision, health. After 30 days, you're like, well, I'd be a fool. I'd be a fool not to take this Death Star cafeteria chef gig.
And you're just making shit on the shingle for stormtroopers, and you get blown into the vacuum of space.
Hey, and they love this stuff. They can't get enough.
Ooh, on Tuesday we're having SOS. I can't wait.
They love this stuff. But if somebody invaded the ship, they'd just fucking hide and let them walk through there, run through there, and they'd all fall to their fucking death because whoever designed this part of the ship was an asshole.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, Brian Knapp brings up a great point. The Empire's not OSHA compliant. That is true. This would have never got past OSHA.
It should have, though, but Darth Vader fucking force choked him.
Right.
Because he was fucking pissed off at the results. So you could have gotten cleared, but Darth Vader couldn't keep his shit under control. Yeah. So he force choked the fucking inspector.
Right. Yeah, he threw the inspector down this very chasm. The inspector's at the bottom of this.
So you don't like it, huh?
Well, let's see if you like this.
Let me know how it is down there. That's fucked up, dude. You're affecting the other people on the ship, Darth. It's not just about you.
So they're trying to get to the ship so they can escape. Obi-Wan has shut off the force field. The bad guys don't know their force field is off. What the hell? They shut the door on the little bridge, Luke and Leia, but bad guys are trying to come through, trying to shoot under the door. Shoots a grappling hook. They swing over to the other side. It's great action adventure. The shaft should not exist for any reason other than it makes for an exciting scene where he can grab Leia and swing across.
Which is always cool. Classic.
Right. Back in the landing bay, R2-D2 and C-3PO are scoping things out. They're waiting for their chance to get on the ship, but they're waiting for Han, Luke, Leia, Obi-Wan, everyone else to come, Chewbacca. Good guys, they make it there. They can see the ship, but then Obi-Wan Kenobi runs into Darth Vader, and you got this great sword fight. The master and the apprentice, and he tells him that, you used to, now I am the master, and they have a great sword fight, and it draws everybody's attention, allowing Luke, Leia, Han, C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca a chance to get on the ship. They have a little bit of a shootout with the bad guys, but this big fight, everyone, good guy and bad guy, kind of stops to watch it. And then Obi-Wan lets himself be cut down. He says, if you strike me down, I'll be more powerful than you could ever imagine. He's going to turn into a force ghost or whatever. I remember there was an interview a few years back. Someone asked Han Solo, do you think Han Solo is a force ghost now? He said, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about, dork? You fuckers. I know you're a dork. But Luke, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that it's some kind of force ghost shit. He just sees him get cut down, and he's pretty broken up about it.
Right. But it's Darth Vader chops him down, but then when he goes to step on Obi-Wan's robe, there's nothing in it. So he force ghosted away or whatever. I don't know. So
fuck you, Darth.
But yeah. So the good guys do get away. And they're on their way to Yavin 4, the hidden rebel base. And Luke's pretty broken up about this. It's the worst. This is the worst, 3-4 days of his life.
Yeah, these last few days have been a fucking doozy.
Yeah.
Everybody, his aunt's getting burnt to a crisp, who's now an action figure.
Right.
Now you have his...
he had to sell his car, his beloved little speeder car that he had.
Yeah, that he didn't want to sell to pay for this dude to take him out here. And then he loses, I guess I'd say a father figure, definitely a mentor, his master.
His brand new cool uncle just got chopped in half by his dad, who's a murderous tyrant. He's got a hot sister. That's confusing. And he's flying
but that
around
ends up being
with
cool,
a drug
though.
dealer with a pet dog.
Yeah, but you say his sister, that's a bad part of the week. That's probably the bright spot of the week. Poor guy. If anybody's going to have sex with my sister, it's going to be me.
Brian Knapp says one thing I have to admit. I hate all the new graphics and special effects they added in the 90s, but as a kid, the sword fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, for whatever reason, at many acute angles and stuff like that, the lightsabers look really bad. They look thin and wispy and flickery. Yeah. It's really bad, and they did fix it later. It does look better in the more modern version.
Yeah, the beam should be wider. I've always seen it. That almost makes it look cooler. Makes it look. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but yeah, the wider beam is much better than this.
So you're saying you like the girth? That's what you're saying? You're big.
Yeah, it's not about the length. It's about the girth. I want to get friction on a pickle jar. You know what I mean? Want that pencil dick? Needle dick.
Oh,
no thanks.
So then after they escape, obviously some TIE fighters go after them. There's a fun shootout where Luke and Han Solo are in the guns. It's kind of like the B-17 to have the ball gunner.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the ball turret in real life, dude?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. And some of those
plexiglass ball, it's so tiny. Only little guys could do it.
Yeah, and sometimes if the landing gear didn't work or something, those guys would get crushed to death because there's nothing to keep the belly of the plane off the ground. And man, those guys in World War II, especially the pilots, you go up in the air knowing that whatever percentage of you guys will not be returning.
Yeah. Do you know?
That's a guarantee.
One of our favorite tough guys of this channel was a ball gunner in World War II.
Was that
the late great Charles Bronson?
Yeah, Yeah, you had to have balls to be a ball gunner.
Yeah,
That's for
Remdon
sure.
points out, yes, the footage of the fight, the way the angles and the sweeping motion of the planes and the shooting and all that was taken from World War II footage. Yes, you're right about that. I've seen the footage and stuff. It's really cool.
That shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, so it's a fun shootout. They get away. They get back to the rebel base. They blow up all the bad guys. So now they're going to the rebel base on that blue little, the blue planet behind the orange one. Or maybe one of them's a moon. I don't know. But they're going to go back there, and the Death Star's not at the proper angle to get around the orange planet to shoot the rebel base that's on the blue moon or small planet. I don't remember that. But it's going to be ready in about 30 minutes. They're going to be able to blow up the rebels and defeat the rebels, and the Empire will have an iron grip on control of the galaxy. So they go down there, they make their plans, and this is where they have those plans talking about, hey, the Death Star has this tiny little exhaust port in a trench. We're going to do some, fighter runs, some bombing runs, and eventually, if we have enough of us, we can do it. And then one of the pilots is like, "Oh, we can't do it. It's only 3 meters wide, or whatever." And then Luke's like, "It'll just be like blasting womp rats back home in my T-16." That's I guess there's a creature called a womp rat on the desert planet, and he would shoot them in this ship called the T-16. And the T-16, if you want to know, is he's playing with it.
Yeah, whatever, kid.
Where is it? The T-16 is it's way at the beginning. Hold on. I'll show you guys. Just so you know what it is. It's this thing in his hand here. That little spaceship he's playing with there, that's the T-16. So apparently he has one of those, but we never see it.
So he has some skills.
Yeah, he's a great pilot, just like his father. Right.
Like his papa.
So they're gonna go. The rebels are outnumbered, outgunned. It looks like certain doom, certain death. They're not going to be able to take out this Death Star, all these jillions of TIE fighters and bad guys and stormtroopers, Darth Vader, the whole lot of it. It's a hopeless situation, and Han Solo got his reward money, and he is out. He's like, peace. He is not going to join the fight. So you're like,
even though they asked him to, they're like, come on, man. You need to help us out. You're a great, skilled pilot. And he's like, look, dude, I'm here for the money, kid. I got my money. So fuck off. He's like, you can come with me if you want. So you can roll with me.
He tells Luke, you should get the hell out of here too. These people are nuts.
And you, Chewie, would be killing it.
Yeah.
And they want to. Good thing.
It would be cool to have a friend like Chewbacca, because dogs are awesome. But imagine if you had a dog, but it was more intelligent. You get it to do stuff like even better than a dog.
Just like John Connor did in Terminator 2. Grab this fucking guy.
Right.
He just picks him up by his hair. What were
He's
you
rolling
saying?
anywhere with Chewbacca, and he'll take care of anyone.
Fuck
No one
up, dude.
No
one's gonna say no to Chewie. He'll pull your fucking hands off.
I think Chewie's got to go through a lot of shampoo and conditioner, or he's gonna smell bad.
Chewie, I bet one day he's like, look, man, I'm getting you all these chicks. I've been playing, your bodyguard. Hook me up. Chewie needs some too.
Right.
Got you, Chewie.
I remember seeing an interview where George Lucas said that some executive at Fox movie studio was like, okay, but the big hairy guy, like, he doesn't wear any clothes. Shouldn't he wear like some like Bermuda shorts or something like that? Or like
what?
Like,
he's covered in hair.
Yeah, you can't say anything. We're not going to build that into the suit. Don't worry about it. Jeez.
The fucking prop guys kept building or making a Chewie costume with a big old dick. He's like, dude, stop doing that.
The lipstick, the red rockets.
Yeah. Stop building this on the costume, guys. It's not funny.
Yeah. So they're off to fight. I do like that there's Red 5 checking in, Yellow 5, like all their code names, they're flying in. It's so iconic. It looks so great. 1977, and it still holds up. It still looks fantastic. And it's a great, an air battle, right? Battle over Germany. They're flying around, they're shooting, there's cannons, there's spaceships. It's just such a technological achievement. This is really what ignited my imagination as a kid, to be an artist, to draw. I loved this stuff, loved watching it over and over. The chase down the trench, everybody's defeated. One thing I loved, and I caught it real early when I was a youngster, there's a fat pilot for the good guys. He's really fat, and his name is Porkins.
Yeah. Porkins.
Why don't they just call him Butterball or something while they're at it,
Fat shit. That was the original draft. Captain Fat Shit. They're like, that's even a little too much. For
Porkins, he goes to the buffet in the sky. Unfortunately, Porkins dies.
Yeah, they wanted to name him Captain Pork Fuck. They were like, no, can't do that.
But here's where you have the full character arc from Han Solo, which is great. So everyone gets killed almost except for Luke. Luke's flying down the trench. He's getting closer and closer and closer to the exhaust port so he can launch his photon torpedoes, blow up the Death Star, and save the day. But Darth Vader shoots at him, hits his ship, but only damages R2. And he's going to kill Luke. And I love when Darth Vader goes, I have you now. And he's going to blast Luke. And he's coming down there with 3 TIE fighters, Darth Vader in the middle, 2 other ships. And out of the sky, it's Han Solo to save the day.
Boom.
He comes in, he shoots Darth Vader's ship, sending it spinning. The other 2 ships crash and blow up. Darth Vader flips away into space. He doesn't die, so we can make a sequel movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
he just goes like flipping into the darkness.
Right.
But nothing official.
So then Luke, his targeting computer, he has this like thing that goes over his eye, and he's like, he turned off his targeting computer. What is he doing? And then you hear Obi-Wan's voice, use the Force, Luke. So he just closes his eyes, uses the Force, because some other X-Wing fighters and Y-Wing fighters, the good guys, they've launched proton torpedoes at this target, and they've missed. It's very small. They're moving very fast. Luke closes his eyes, uses the Force, laces it. Boom! All those Imperial Navy cooks and janitors, dude, they didn't have to die like dogs.
I know. Damn it.
Some guy's just like a secretary. Some guy's a tailor, just fixing uniforms, sewing shit.
I sew, bro. I sew. And he got. And all they had to do was this from the beginning. What are you gonna do?
There were chaplains on there. There were doctors.
What are you gonna do, you fucking guys? Hey, they knew what they were getting into.
I guess.
You can't take away from their decision. It is called
the Death Star, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't called the Fun Star.
The Life Star, the Fun Star.
Like, wait a minute, you guys called this the Fun Star. This isn't fun. This is all death. No, they knew what was up. You can't take away from their ability to make their own decisions.
Yeah. You know? So I love that Han Solo comes back. So he isn't just a prick out for the money. He has a change of heart. That's good writing. It's good character development. It's awesome. You're all clear, kid. You're all clear, kid. Now let's blast this thing and get out of here. It's an iconic line. That's where he says it right there. He tells him that. They blow it up. They get home. R2-D2's been blown to shit. They're happy. And then in one of the most racist displays ever, Princess Leia is a complete xenophobe. Princess Leia is a bigot, and I'll show you why. All these people fought, died. Han Solo and Luke saved the day and blew up the Death Star, right? Wrong. Chewbacca was there too. Why did only Luke and Han Solo get those big golden medallions and Chewbacca's sitting there holding his balls? He got nothing. He got shafted. He was the co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon.
Nah, because Chewbacca don't need that shit. You don't need the jewelry and the decoration.
Dude, how good would he look with that drip? Just a big
gold chain on. They said that they told Chewie, look, do you want one of these stupid medals or do you want us to fly in some fucking female Chewbaccas, like 3 of them? He just pointed down to his fucking lipstick.
We'll fly him right in.
Next time, just say yes. Always pulling your dick out. So that's how he got his prize, his reward.
Okay. So he didn't get the gold medallion. He should have. He did get the medallion. He did. And that's it.
Better.
That's how Star Wars ends. It's an outstanding movie. It's a classic. It stands the test of time. And Disney is amazing in their incompetence that they can't figure out to watch this movie. If I was the king of Disney, I would make the people who make my movies for me watch this movie 50 times in a row. And then when they were done, after a few weeks, I'd have them come and sit in a meeting with me and say, that movie that I made you watch, do that again. Just that. Like, but should we make it woke or just do that again.
Don't even ask that question.
Right.
Don't fix your mouth to even ask that stupid ass question.
Right. Just we'll do that.
Fine.
You know,
we'll be fine.
Yeah. It is to this day the second most sold tickets of any movie ever. To this day, the most ever is Gone with the Wind. To this day, it is still the second most watched movie ever. It was in theaters for months and months and months on end.
But now they're done. They're done making money.
A hit movie's out of theaters in 4 weeks nowadays? A hit movie's out in 4 weeks, right? 4 or 5 weeks.
Unless you're Maverick.
I think Top Gun Maverick was the last movie to do that. It was in theaters for 5 months. It's an outstanding movie, Top Gun Maverick.
Sure is.
But I think Star Wars was in theaters from May of 1977 all the way through the end of the year, I believe. It went all the way through the holidays and everything.
Damn.
So, yeah. And it's one of the biggest cultural things ever. One of the biggest. I mean, when you talk about the biggest pop culture stuff that's ever happened, you're talking about Elvis, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, Star Wars, and Star Wars is ruined. Star Wars is absolutely ruined.
They're done making money. They're done with that franchise. They don't want any more money out of it. They're finished. So close up shop.
In my mind, it will always just be the original 3. Let's see what the poll said. Star Wars is only the 3 OG movies. 69% of people said yes. 31% said no. To me, don't give me the extended universe. Don't give me the video games or the comic books even. Nothing. Star Wars to me is the 3 movies, beginning, middle, end. That's it. That's all that really exists. Everything else.
I felt bad for Star Wars fans when that shit came out in 1999. I felt bad because everything you heard, nobody was like, "Oh man, this is so awesome! I've been waiting 20 years." Nobody said that,
dude.
Everybody was pissed.
A fever pitch. I went and saw Star Wars 1999. I saw it twice that night on opening night.
Just to make sure.
I was psyched out of my mind. I thought it was so amazing. And about 24 hours later, like, that was kind of boring.
Uh-oh.
The plot of that movie was a trade blockade and arguments in the Senate. That could have all happened off screen. How about we just get some warfare and some Jedis and some laser blasters? They're in the Senate arguing. You have like diplomats talking to like trade barons about trade routes that they're going to blockade unless they give them X, Y, Z. What? Are we watching C-SPAN? Oof.
Terrible.
Oof. So there are only 3 Star Wars movies, and that's the end of it. So
yeah, that shit was just so boring.
I want justice for Chewbacca. If they can go back with those stupid CGI graphics and add in extra monsters and spaceships, I want them to go back and add a giant gold medallion for him at the end of this movie. Bigger than Luke and Han's. Huge. A big one with diamonds on it.
You know? Yeah, man.
Justice for Chewie.
That'll go down as one of the worst travesties in cinematic history.
Right.
That they would take something like this. That's just a mint. That's all Star Wars is a mint. To just print up all the cash. How much do you want? Release this. You need some more cash? Release that. Re-release this.
Yeah.
Digitally remaster that. Or come out with a new one, but just stick to the script. No. Can't do it.
Terrible. Well, that is Star Wars. Maybe we'll do another Star Wars. Maybe we'll do Spaceballs. Maybe we'll do more Steven Seagal. I don't know. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I want to see that Steven Seagal with Mike Tyson that you told me about. It looks atrocious.
China salesman.
Oof.
Guys, the worst thing ever captured on tape, including beatings and deaths. The worst thing ever caught on tape is Steven Seagal, starring Steven Seagal, co-star Mike Tyson in The China Salesman. Uh-oh.
Really?
Uh-oh. Oof. I don't fuck around. When it comes to bad movies, Gabe, I don't fuck around. So when I tell you that's the worst thing ever, believe me when I tell you it is.
All right.
It's like it's the Nuremberg trials and then the China Salesman. War crimes. War crimes.
All right, guys. You have anything to promote before we get out of here, Jericho?
No, fellas and ladies. Just Google my name. Keep up with my shit. I just uploaded. I upload them every day, but if you're watching this right now, uploaded a great video about the Democrats having a program where they're going to spend $20 million on learning how to get men to come back to the Democratic Party.
I have a tip for them. Quit being against everything men are made of, stand for, and love. Small tip. You're never going to get us on your side if you keep saying you hate us and everything about us.
Why'd they do that in the first place? Why'd you fucking do that in the first place, you idiots? Why would you run men away from your party? You idiots.
They thought they were going to shame us, call us sexist, Neanderthal, racist, whatever. And then we go, I'll vote for you if you stop calling me names.
Just so stupid. You idiot.
Why would I vote for you?
So
then you can do all the things you told me you want to do to men. I don't want you to do that to me. Why the fuck would I vote for that, you morons?
6 months later, here you come. Come back.
No. Never.
Come on.
Now, you know what?
Those are-
Chewbacca will get a medal before I vote for you. So there you go.
And that's fucked up for Chewbacca.
Yeah, Chewie would never vote for the Democrats.
Suck your what, Chewie?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right, guys, check him out online. He's the great Jericho Green. Go to Big Man Comics right now. You can get Dean Cain, All-American Lawman. Empyrean will be here sooner than you think. And the Unstoppable Tyrus. My next book after that, I've got a few cooking, a military thriller called Tripoli. We've still got Jericho Green and the Hammerheads coming up. I think I want to find someone to illustrate that. I don't know. These things are taking longer than I thought. So I think I need to hire some more people. But, check me out too. Monday through Friday, 11 to noon on this channel. I go live every day now, Monday through Friday, 11 to noon Pacific. And I'm drawing the Unstoppable Tyrus and doing other things. And we're just chatting and having a good time. So come in, join that. And I need you, before you go, I need you now tonight. Hit the like, hit the share. Cost you nothing. Helps grow the channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.